Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 252 of the KBMOD podcast. It is October 9th, 2016. And after a break, we have returned. Brad is currently sick, so he's not with us. But we've got KD here. We've got Brandon here. I am back. KD Zen just took off his glasses and is looking directly into the camera. I'm extremely uncomfortable.
Very somberly. I don't know what that was.
Were you trying to make me mess up via throwing me off my game or something? Because you did the intro 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's vying for your spot.
Oh, that's right.
I feel like
it's been
you're
stolen from
me.
me. Yeah, I just think we're gingerly addressing our viewers. They deserve our full attention.
Gingerly addressing. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back. And I know we're going to talk TwitchCon stuff
because we were
we weren't here.
So we are back. We're back safe and sound.
So that begs the question, Brandon, since we know where we were and what we were up to. We don't know what KD, and Brad was there too, so I know what he was doing.
Yeah.
But KD, what did you get up to with your free weekend last weekend? What did you do?
Pretty much the only notable thing I can think of is that I went bowling yesterday. And then that was my exciting life.
Okay. I was talking about last weekend, but that's
not even anything that weekend.
That's a very depressing admission.
I was gonna say either you misunderstood that he was asking about last weekend, or in the past 2 week time span, the only
that's what I mean.
That's happened.
Okay.
I've just been video games, work, studying, video games, work, studying. That's
okay. So you're on that grind.
Yeah, I haven't really been. I mean, I'm not taking any classes this semester. I'm more like really hitting Japanese pretty hard, trying to get into that. They're actually like.
When you say hitting Japanese, can you clarify for our audience that you basically just mean you're watching a lot of anime?
Yeah, I'm watching a lot of hentai. I'm hitting myself to Japanese. In addition to
I thought some of our audience may not know how to decode that sly language.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was obvious, but no. But there was this DS game that came into where we're called like My Japanese Coach or something, which is like a Japanese trainer. And I took a couple of years of Japanese in high school, and so I thought, maybe this won't be a valid like method of learning, but this will at least be like like something to refresh on and like teach new things. But it's actually really good stuff. And I've just been making a lot of those flashcards. Listen, they've been going to good use, learning some vocabulary with those. But just trying to learn more.
Japanese coach on one of your gaming flashcards? Like, is that now a game you plan to conquer?
I don't know if I could ever really finish that. I mean, I don't put things like Enter the Gungeon or like The Witness on a gaming card because I'm confident that I'll never be able to finish those. With The Witness more so because I'm just an idiot. And things like Binding of Isaac, I wouldn't put that on a flashcard. Like roguelikes, things like that.
So endless type games don't go on the flashcards.
Endless the House of the Dead Overkill, Typing of the Dead. Yeah, I wouldn't put that on a card.
Okay.
But
that's fair.
Yeah, it's been cool.
I respect it. So you're on the grind. You got your head down. You're plowing through.
Here we go. 10年前にフィッシャーさんは強くなOh shit. I was trying to say APL was not strong 10 years ago, but 今日はもっと強いです。もっと高いです。もっと弱いです。I don't know.
What's the last part? Wasn't strong, now is strong?
Strong, tall.
Oh.
美しいです. Beautiful.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank
That's
you.
The
good.
limit of my vocabulary.
It all sounded good after that. Yeah, when you added the emphasis.
I thought that was just a Japanese man climaxing, but now I realize you're actually saying words.
How would you know what a Japanese man climaxing sounds like, Brandon? All right. Well,
you want to build partnerships with Twitch. You need.
I mean, absolutely.
How do you build the only one who can study Japanese?
That's a good point. There's no rule on who can and who cannot. All right, that's cool. I'm glad to hear you. I'm excited to. I'm pretty soon. If you keep this up, I think in a year or so you'll be probably pretty fluent. You have any plans to go to Japan and really test in the future?
Oh yeah, someday.
Later in life?
I would love to go. Yeah. My main motivation right now is I just want to play Persona 5 and know what's going on. That is
Okay.
the honest,
That's hey.
actual motivation.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think
There's nothing
that's
wrong with that.
learning life skills in exchange for enjoying video games more. I think is a perfectly reasonable thing. You know,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there's
for
no
sure.
there's no bad reason for learning.
hmm
No.
You're right. You're right. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been up to. Went bowling, bowled 96, which is pretty shitty, but I'll take it. I found. Do you guys bowl at all? Like, do you do that often? Or
I actually went with it like within the last 2 months. I think I went once, but that was the first time I'd gone in 3 years. So yeah, I don't go super like yeah, it's very occasional.
Yeah, I don't go often.
And I think I
but
bowled
have
something. I think I
been-
bowled like maybe one game over 100. I was awful.
That's
Then
my
I'm-
thing. Is like if I get triple digits, then I consider that success
Exactly.
because I'm
Same.
not a good
okay.
bowler, but I just don't want to completely embarrass myself.
Right.
So pulling like a 50 or
I know what you
60,
mean.
I would rather just not play. But
Yeah.
if I can pull 100, I'm okay with. I'm happy with that.
I just don't
I could-
like. I don't want to be judgmental. Like I have a lot of friends, not a lot of friends. I have a couple friends who are super into bowling back actually in the Philly area, and like go to bowl, have a bowling club, and they like. I have a friend that consistently bowl. Like he's bowled multiple perfect games. He, just he's insane. Like if I watch him bowl, but I guess it's just maybe it's more people that are like self motivated. I guess to a certain extent, but he'll go and practice, and I'm just like I don't like.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the skill. Yeah, no, I'm not judging it, but because I can appreciate the skill and like he's good, but I guess I don't know. Maybe I don't. I just haven't been bit by the bug of bowling, which is a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
But I'm just like that's so much time to put in that. But he probably looks at me and goes, "I put all this time into video games and I'm still terrible at Counter-Strike." So he probably feels the same way, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I think it's probably one of those. It's one of those things where if you find a group of people you enjoy playing with, like if you get in a league or something,
Yeah.
it's the same as anything else. Like it becomes more about the social aspect, and you
Probably
obviously
is
want to
that.
get better, but it's less about the actual just the bowling. But I don't know. Maybe if you're
Oh.
going and practicing on your own, then like that's. Yeah, I don't know that I don't know that I could do that. 'cause,
also,
like,
I have to say the last time I actually went bowling, Tab and I went bowling just at the place near here, and there was a dude. You ever know somebody's? I mean, again, we talk about these people that are just too into things. He came in with like 3 bowling bags, carried a pair of shoes over his shoulder, was wearing bowling shoes when he came in, and wouldn't stop talking to like he was just talking loudly towards to the people that were actually like open like doing all the checkout and stuff with the lanes, and I could tell he wanted everybody to hear his strategy for bowling and all this stuff, and I was just like I don't like. Like again, like
yeah.
I'm happy for you. I'm glad you like clearly like he comes in. It was a Sunday. There was like nobody there except us, and clearly he was really into it. But I was just like, dude, like I don't. You're not gonna win any street. You're not gonna get any street cred with me. Like, damn,
Street
dude.
cred.
Like I feel like he wanted me to be like, dude, like start a conversation. Like, how long have you been bowling, dude? How many perfect games have you had? Like, teach me how to spin the ball.
Yeah.
He was one of those, and I was just like, oh, I can't. I
God.
can't do it.
Look,
That's
it's
one of the
not-
worst things
It's not
too.
nice to
Is
talk
when you
about
go.
Tim that way when he's probably listening.
Yeah. Is that actually Tim? Is
Tim
Tim? I didn't know he was into bowling that much.
I don't know.
Sorry, Tim, if you're into bowling.
One of the worst things that can happen is when you're going bowling with someone and the lane you get is right next to like the pro like bowling players or like people who are really good. And so I'll go up there and I'll gutter ball and I'll turn around and I know everyone is looking
Just
at
feel
me,
the judgment.
judging me. Yeah. I find that I'm really consistent at like hitting 3 or 4 pins, or I get strikes and then I gutter ball 3 times in a row, then I'll get a strike.
It's just total inconsistency. That's the same way. Like I'll get a couple strikes. I'll even have a good looking spare, and I'll be like, wow, I'm really in this. And then I'll get a couple, like I'll get a gutter ball. I'm just like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
how is this the same performance? But I guess that's like anything. If you're good at it, consistency is the key.
Mhm.
So that's
Bowling
where all
is
those
something-
hours grinding it out that I saw that guy in his he was like in a tracksuit too. Like that's where the consistency comes in. He was bowling like upper like high 200s. So
That's his exercise.
All right.
That's his
Yeah.
that's his upper body day.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got a bowling alley built into my home. I like to hang out there.
I do draw the line at though. Like I don't allow bumpers. Even if I go casually, I don't care who you are. I don't allow bumpers. What do you?
No,
how do you feel?
absolutely not.
No bumpers.
Bumpers
Bumpers are
is-
for subhumans.
Bumper. I mean, look, if you're gonna put bumpers on, then I'm just going to like throw it at the side and laugh at the fact that it bounces back and forth.
It did happen at the end of one game. It was like the 10th bracket. it was like I was up. I had to score like at least like 4 points, and I go over and I grab like one of the ramps that you like set the ball on so that it rolls down. Have you seen any of those before?
Yeah.
Like I put my entire career on that. Those are hilarious.
Good lord.
But I would never use bumpers.
Bumpers are for like, children who have not yet developed the fine motor skills you need for consistent movement that the bowling, a bowling ball requires.
Even then, I don't even know if I would. I'd almost like it's a good life lesson for your child to be like, listen, you're gonna either roll it straight or it's gonna go in the gutter. Like you gotta, be. I don't know. I say that now. I'm sure when I have kids, I'll maybe put the bumpers up. But to me,
you may not be able to pick this ball up without assistance, but you better throw it down the center or it's gonna go in the gutter.
Or not. And who's to say like even putting bumpers up? Like who's to say the kid will even if they're bowling that young? Like do they even care if it goes in the gutter? Probably not. I guess I'm thinking of like infants. I guess you don't take infants bowling, so they probably know enough to
infants is when you use the little thing KD's talking about, and it's like a little slide, and they sort of give it a little push, but it feels like they're the ones doing it.
Right. Yeah, I guess so.
It's encouraging.
Do you think about the fact that we associate bowling with being sort of like a fun, children's birthday kind of activity? Like it's something that you go to do with your friends, using like these very heavy balls that could actually kill you really easily.
True.
Like, why do we just let children play with these heavy
I wonder how many bowling ball accidents
on a slippery wooden surface?
How many deaths by bowling ball each year?
Like, how many bowling related injuries are there a year? How many bowling? Anyway, but
yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, all right.
What about So let's jump into some TwitchCon proper here. I'm dying to hear. More so just for material for Barn Door Quest, but I'm also very interested.
Yeah, I'll let Brandon go first, and then you tell me about your. Because you're a little bit different in that you were working the event, but how did you?
Well, no, I mean it was awesome. I was working the event quite a bit. I was working in the Streamer Alley area, where such notable names like APL Fisher, for some reason, had meet and greet sessions. So Scott and many people more famous than Scott had meet and greets, and so I was helping manage that stuff for a lot of the weekend, and that was great. I mean, it was just really neat to see so many people come out, and it really is the physical manifestation of the Twitch community. And we saw quite a few KBMOD folks there, like people that are in the chat right now that are listening, and that was really neat. Like it's always cool to see people that you know from online or a name that you recognize for a really long time and put a face to that name, and that was like basically all weekend. So yeah, just like feeling really good. I got no sleep pretty much for 3-4 days. I was very, very tired when I got back, but it's just an awesome time. I'm actually more interested to hear what Scott thinks about it because this was Scott's first TwitchCon.
Yes, it was. So I didn't really know what to expect going in. I wanted to go last year, didn't end up. I was all planning to, and then something came up at the last minute. I wasn't able to go. But this year when I heard it was in San Diego, I was like, definitely gotta make a point to go because I love San Diego as a city in general. And I wasn't sure as far as like crowds and all that kind of stuff. And this was the only thing that actually, like, I didn't go to PAX, whatever it's called, not Prime. Is it called PAX West now, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't go to any like PAX or I'm trying to think of anything else I would go to, but or like Comic-Con or anything. And so this was my only thing. And I also tied it in with time, like seeing a bunch of people in LA. So I actually ended up flying into LAX because it was actually way cheaper than San Diego, at least when we were booking flights. Plus I needed to get a rental car. So we did that, drove to San Diego. But as far as like the con went, it was the best. I mean, again, this is I'm gonna sound super biased because Brandon's a Twitch employee, and but we talked about it there. Like, honestly, it was probably my favorite event I've ever been to, and I've been to a bunch since, 5 years ago or whatever. Working like originally starting with Machinima and getting sent to a bunch of stuff, and I think it was more because of obviously like so many people were actually there. That was one thing that we were constantly talking about was that like basically anybody that you would want to meet for the most part was there at TwitchCon at least one of the days. I felt like. So that was really cool. And so just that opportunity alone, but also just the whole feel of the event was a lot different than a PAX or like Comic-Con. it was way less cutthroat and felt a lot more community oriented. And I know like we like to do the community circle jerk shit, but for real, just as far as like how kind of laid back everybody was, like there was swag and stuff around, and like the actual convention hall had like a decent amount of things and games to play, but none of it felt like I don't know. I feel like a lot of the other cons, I get burned out being in the whole like con area or at the convention center like pretty quick. And this time it was just like, because you're constantly running into people that you know or that like you watch on Twitch, and then you're like, hey, we haven't ever met, and then you get to talking with them. And then there was like a bunch of panels. The keynote stuff was really cool. I got to watch at least about an hour of the keynote before I had to do the R8 2v2 stuff that I did. But yeah, honestly, I went in not really knowing what to expect, and I actually ended up coming out like I think it was probably my favorite event that I've been to. So I'm excited again for next year. So seriously, like PSA, if you didn't go this year, definitely plan to go next year. And it was also the perfect size, this amount of people. Like there were way more people there than I thought there were going to be, but it didn't tick over to like a Comic-Con level where it's just like, like there's just, you can't even drive a car down near the convention center because every 3 seconds there's like a herd of 150 nerds walking by. So it wasn't that, but it was definitely like pretty well attended. So
yeah, that area of San Diego, I think, is so well designed for large groups of people that it didn't really feel that crowded compared to other conventions I've been to. I mean, obviously, like PAX, PAX has more people because those events are larger at this point. But like San Diego felt very well equipped to handle that amount of people down in that area.
Exactly.
And so like there were quite a few restaurants, quite a few bars. Like you didn't encounter the thing that I feel like happens at a lot of other conventions where you can't find a place to eat because it's like 6 p.m. and literally everyone is eating and there's not enough places to go. So I just enjoyed, like the weather was good. I don't know, everything for me just sort of like came together, and and it seemed like everyone was having a really good time. And obviously, as someone there working and hoping that people have a good time more than like me having a good time, that was really nice to see. Yeah,
I totally agree. I feel the same way. I didn't really go in with any. I mean, I didn't have low expectations, but I just kind of went in like not really knowing what to expect. And I really, if you're a fan of like, anyway, if you just watch a lot of Twitch and stuff like that, it's really like probably the most accessible kind of con that you could go to. Not that like you can't talk to people and hang out with people at PAX and all these other things, but
that's why a lot of them are there at TwitchCon.
Exactly.
Like when you see someone at PAX, that's the point. A lot of times they might be running off to do something because they're there. Right. They have a specific agenda or commitments, and a lot of the people, when you run into them, they're really just there at TwitchCon to meet people. They're there for the same reason you are, to to have conversations, to get to know people, and it's less about It's less about all of the other things that people go to cons for, and more about actually getting to engage with people that you know online, in a real world physical type way.
Yeah, and again, it's like I mean, I feel like at this point though, for the most part, anything I go to is about hanging with people. It's not about like trying to play fucking Gears or Gears 4 or whatever else. Like there were certain things that were there and that were cool, and there was also like neat events at the arena. Like I said, I ended up being in the R8 thing, which was fun. Which unfortunately, again, we lost. I lost 16-14 to Tim the Tapman and I'm Cody, but I was with a very inexperienced player who named Fusely, and she ended up doing actually really well considering she doesn't really ever play Counter-Strike that often. And that was a lot of fun. So it was like there's little fun events like that, but those are always going on. It was really well organized though too. I think someone in chat was pointing that out. Like you really could get around and you could plan like what you wanted to do if you wanted to get to a panel or do whatever else. And I went with only, like I said, I had the meet and greet like you were talking about on Sunday, and I had the R8 thing. My schedule wasn't super full, and the rest like it was just kind of like the rest of the time was hanging out with people. The Twitch party was a lot of fun. You guys rented out a fucking stadium. So
yeah, that was crazy.
that was awesome.
And it was really cool because it was on the field. And again, I can't stress this enough. I've gone to so many events, and it's like there was a lot of people there. You guys sold there was a lot of tickets sold for that, but there was plenty of space to like chill. You could go in, you could chill at whoever was spinning. There was T-Pain, Aoki.
Yeah,
and
like if you wanted to get caked by Steve Aoki, you would be up in the front, and that area was very crowded. But if you just wanted to sit back and relax, like I did, you sort of hung back, and there was plenty of room for people that didn't want a super loud like concert experience. I was glad we did that.
Yeah. So and the parties and there's parties like so for example the Discord party, which we got in on Thursday night. There was a Discord had a party, and they had open bar from 8 p.m. This is no joke. They had open bar from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. and they rented out the House of Blues, and it was 1,300 people capacity.
Holy shit.
And it was rotating. I have never anyway
for Discord.
For Discord, yeah, just for Discord. I have never and it was a fun party. So there was that, but there's stuff. So if you just come and you're aware ahead of time, there's tons of things like that. Like there's tons of parties. Like Logitech threw a party. There's a bunch of ones happening all different days. So there's always something to do. I would say, I wouldn't say that you can't come if you're under 21, but I think being able to imbibe beverages, I think you're going to feel maybe a little left out in some of the stuff that happens afterwards. So
I think
that is something to consider.
I think that's events in general. Because there's a lot of things that will be 21 plus, and the worst feeling is going to be if you're with a group of people who are all 21 plus and you're not, and you've got to like stay at the hotel room because because the bouncer won't let you in the door. That's always
So if you go with people that are also underage and you want to do other stuff, since you're in San Diego, you could absolutely do that too. But yeah, if you're going to try to hang with the group, you're going to get pretty lonely eventually, at least at nighttime.
That's been my main barrier for things like that's why I haven't really tried going to like PAX or things like that. But
I just assume, like, I honestly forget that people in the world exist that are under 21.
I feel the same way. I'll always be like, yeah, what do you guys? And they're like, wait, you're 20 or you're 19 or what? Wait, yeah, I know. I feel the same way. I feel bad sometimes, but also, this is just going to be straight out sellout promo. But there's 2 vlogs up on my channel. The second one went up today. That's like 16 minutes. Barn Door is featured at a couple points in the blog for day. Day 2. But you can get a good taste. I think it's a good.
I can't wait.
Tab recorded a bunch of stuff. I record some stuff, but she actually edited it all together. So, but it was really good. I think it's a good representation of how TwitchCon was for me, and got to hang out like Not So, Flanzy, Timmy, his girlfriend Stephanie. It was just and we just hung out in a group. Brad obviously came. So definitely, if you were on the fence, I would just say, like as a PSA, if you were on the fence about going next year, maybe you wanted to see. Like I said, I can't really remember a con that I've been to that's really been more successful as far as like kind of doing everything I wanted to do and just hanging out with people. And again, part of it, I'm a little scared because I don't think even if TwitchCon's fantastic next year, I don't know if it's going to be able to, again, because it was so good, to live up to it, but that's fine. That's just the way life is, because I do think it's going to tip over to a certain point where it's just logistically, I think your guys are going to even have more people go next year. And it's going to start tipping over to that where it's going to get more crazy, which is fine. Like that's what happens when
that'll be
thousands of people descend on a city. But seeing if you can keep that same kind of community feel and have it not be as crazy, I think that was a big win.
Yeah, I think that's a better problem to have than the other side of it, which is like people didn't have a good time or something, and you have to try and fix a whole bunch of things. But yeah, setting high standards in only the second event of that type, I think is awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Really enjoyed watching the H1Z1 Invitational. I don't know if you guys checked that out like in person.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I wasn't able to because I was doing something at the time, but I did. I have since caught on to the highlights, and yes, it was pretty incredible. Summit getting eliminated first, right? Wasn't he the first eliminated? I think he was up there. He was like number 60. There was great moments. But,
I was super happy to see Sandy Ravage place in number 5. Take home 10K. Yep. I was ecstatic. I actually, that was cool. No joke, had that turned on in my living room, and by default, my parents, brother, and grandma were forced to watch it, and they were getting really into it.
Oh, they were? That's cool.
Oh, yeah. They're like, what's that falling from the sky? That's like loot they can get? Wait, why are they still in the green gas? The toxic gas is there, why are they still in it?
So they were asking you, that's always the best when your family will watch like Twitch or something and then ask questions about it and get into it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that the first thing they said isn't like, "What is this video game garbage?" It was more like, "Wait, what's that falling from the sky?" And all of a sudden they're into it.
Oh yeah, I gave them like the explanation of like how it works and everything, and then like just as time went on, they asked questions. It was funny how like some of the confrontations that happened, like it takes a bit to kill someone just because like a lot of shots don't really hit, and just screaming for like more than a few seconds. It's just like just until one of the two dies. Some pretty good moments, like when Soda is sitting behind the tree as Lyric. I think it was Lyric who gets closer and closer and just takes him out. Yep. That's pretty good.
There were some cool.
The prizes for that, like top 10, was like all in the thousands of dollars.
That was crazy. $40K for first place in the invitation.
That's wild.
That is ludicrous.
That's awesome. That's nuts though. Yeah, there was a lot of cool. You definitely have this thing. I experienced this a lot where it's like I see people and I recognize them, but we've never met. And I recognize them because I've gone in their Twitch. I've watched their channel, even if it's in passing. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Brandon, I don't know if it's like that for you. I mean, you work in partnership, so it's probably a little bit different. Maybe you're more aware, but there's so many partners, and there's so many people that just stream on Twitch in general, even that aren't partners. But I'll see people and I'll be like, so sometimes I would just go up to them and like introduce myself. Other times we just kind of look at each other and we're like, we both know. So that happens a lot, which is kind of cool. And I shared this story on my channel, but so there was tons of CS:GO pros at TwitchCon, Cloud9, because they weren't weren't for ESL 1 in New York because they didn't qualify. But there were some other ones too that like aren't on teams. And there was so it was Freakazoid, Shazam, and Sean Gares were all chilling at the Discord party outside. And those are all guys like anyway that I've watched and stuff and are pretty well known in the scene. And so Freakazoid had this incident you may recall like a while ago when Simple was on Liquid. He had a whole bullying incident where they were playing in a Face It Pug or ESEA Pug, and he like anyway told him to go get a tan. And he probably has no real life friends because Simple was being pretty toxic or whatever. So this whole thing blew up or whatever. So anyway, the whole meme is that Freakazoid has become a bully and stuff. And so anyway, it's persisted to this day. And he ended up leaving Cloud9 and plays on an Echo Fox now. Whatever. All that to say, I give you all this background because they were all standing in a circle. I'd never met any of them before, but I had a few brews in me, so I was feeling pretty good. So I just literally walk up. I just walk straight up to Freakazoid or Ryan, who is definitely shorter than I thought he was going to be. Still very built though, very very big guy. And I just put both my hands on his shoulders, and he like kind of looked up because he wasn't really paying attention. I was like, "Listen, freak." I was like, "Dude, you're not a bully. You're not a bully, man." And he just looked at me, and I could tell like he wasn't registering what was going on. And he was like, oh. He's like, "Oh, thanks, man. Oh, thanks." And I was like, "Dude, they blew all that shit way out of proportion and stuff." And then we ended up talking, and then I saw Shazam. I was like, "Yo, what's up, Shazam? What's up, Sean Gares?" And again, to me, I'm probably just they don't know who I am. I'm just this random dude coming up to them and starting a conversation. And then we started talking about Source. I was like, I played Source back in the day, followed you guys' careers for a while. And I was like, anyway, I was just like, we live in a pretty PC age. You can't really even shit talk without it, blowing up and people judging your character and stuff. And they were laughing. They're like, "This guy knows," and stuff. But that was just one of the cool stories where it's like you can just have conversations and people are super cool and like just talk to people that you otherwise, not going to something like this, you probably wouldn't run into. So like I have a bunch of stories like that where just started conversations with people. And so anyway, again, just definitely if you're considering or you're trying to decide to go next year, I'm definitely going again. So I hope I'll see you there. I know Brandon will be there. Katie, like you said.
I think I'll probably go again.
Oh, I'm going to try.
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, maybe. Brandon might be there.
I'm going to try. Really try. I hope.
Yeah. So, anyway, the TLDR, this whole thing was TwitchCon was fucking lit. Okay? That'll be my official quote on it. Just lit emoji. LitCon. It should have been called LitCon. Because it actually truly was. So we should talk about a little bit. I know we kind of skipped over this, but since being back, what have we been playing, or what did you play? You talked a little bit about Katie, but what did you play while we've been gone? What have you been playing this week?
Well, shit.
Persona, obviously you were
2-3 weeks. Actually, no, not Persona. I haven't. Okay, really, you haven't. Okay. After finishing 3, like because they're just such huge games, I'm taking a break until getting into 4. I mean, I played a bit of 4, and it's fucking great, but not so much. Let me just go on Steam. Recent. Dark Souls 3. Oh yeah, I started streaming a Soul Level 1 playthrough of Dark Souls 3. That's been going pretty well. Pretty frustrating. There's a certain enemy in the swamp that you know what? No, I'm gonna elect not to go into mechanics of how bullshit this enemy is.
Katie's learning. You're stifling your Dark Souls talk.
I know.
Honestly, I wish I was more into it so I could talk with you about
I just like seeing the look on his face as you know how tough it is for him to rein it in.
I know. Yeah, that's real maturity right there. Look at him. That's some
this is the face of a hardcore gamer here when he knows you're not interested, and he's trying to be an adult and not get into the mechanics, but he's so passionate about these mechanics.
Yeah. My mindset is, the DLC is coming out for 3 is coming out in maybe 20 days, I think. And when I first played 3, I blew through that. Also, I haven't played 3 in a while, so going through it again has been really neat, to go through, because I played, 40 hours like when I first got it, just blew through it, and now going through it again because I was burnt out for a bit, so I'm like enjoying it more. And but you know, I'm a Souls veteran. I'm pretty good, so I want to make this like a soul level 1 character, which is like playing through the game without leveling up to like kind of have a tougher challenge with the DLC. So just been getting that ready and kind of like streaming at the same time. But yeah, that's been fun. I've been hopping back into RPG Maker MV as well as other getting my feet wet in some other game creation software. I went across a revelation in design for Barn Door Quest, and my inspiration is a lot like I have a lot more like desire to make that now. So I might do a second video similar to like the first one where I showed off some stuff. So I won't give too many details here, but I think it's gonna be. I want it to be like an actual like fun game to play, not just a big meme, you know. Okay. But
I think it could be
other
both.
than yeah, I mean, I definitely want it to be funny.
If anyone can find the balance between gameplay and memery, it would be you. Yeah, I have faith.
I was watching the old video and I laughed for a good minute when in the game Brandon gets out of bed and to Hillary says "Sup, babe," and then sips beer in asterisk. I was like, oh, so good. I was proud of myself. But
normal day in the life, man.
Yeah. It's because you've had your grammar stolen. It's not how you normally react. Other than that, I played the first hour of Deus Ex: Mankind Divided on PS4, unfortunately. And I got to a certain point in it and just realized I did not watch like the 12-minute recap video.
So you were totally lost.
Yeah, I was so lost. And so
honestly, even after watching the 12-minute recap, because it's so fucking long and convoluted, you still by like minute 8, you've totally forgotten everything that they said in the previous.
I know.
You're just like, it's so fucking.
And then he was actually a sleeper agent for the purists who had a mech brother who infiltrated Russia under a guise from
They honestly could have shortened everything with that if they just would have, because they always talk about the Illuminati and that's a big part of like the story. They could have just put the fucking Illuminati fucking emote, or you know what I mean, like the symbol, and just shortened everything, and then you'd be like, oh, okay.
Because there were some characters that I forgot were in Human Revolution, so seeing them again, like, I hadn't played Human Revolution for like the longest time, and I had forgotten like so much about it. So I kind of want to get like I might replay through Human Revolution before I go further into Mankind Divided, just to like have it fresh in my mind, because it feels like from what I played, like the way a fucking sequel is made, like more characters you love, it just builds on everything that Human Revolution. I mean, I haven't played a lot, but from what I can tell, it just builds on a lot of the systems really well. But other than that, there's this game called Disgaea, which is like a RPG that came out a year ago on PS4. That I haven't really started playing hardcore until now. It's just been a flashcard all this time, but no. But the addiction has been setting in on that. The way that game is set up to where you have to basically grind to get through the game. Like levels, the difficulty of levels grows like higher or faster than you can level up your character. So the idea is that you grind in this like item world where you pick like an item in your inventory, and there's like an infinite random dungeon in there, and the more levels you go through, you're leveling up the item while you're leveling up your characters. And like that's fun, and that's a good way to level your characters up and your equipment and things, but you can only play through so many randomly generated dungeons before your patience is tested. So you have to fire up a podcast while you're playing that or something, just to keep your attention on it. So
really? I wonder what podcast people could fire up if they are going to play the game.
Yeah,
maybe the KBMOD podcast.
Yeah, dear listener, if someone or love is struggling with a video game, tell them to go to kbmod.com. But no, and then other than that, oh my god, I've been playing Black Ops 3 single player. Which,
what? Okay.
Because
not what
it
I
occurred
expected.
to me. Yeah.
What a swerve!
I haven't finished it. Yeah. It occurred to me that I had played every Call of Duty single player that has ever come out past COD 4, and like I just felt this obligation to know like how good it was to like rank it as far as like other ones go, and it's not that bad.
Really?
There's some good moments. It's I mean it's the writing, you can tell. Like, let me give an example. You know, Mr. Robot, like they have some sophisticated technology. It's not just saying you got hacked in big red letters on the screen.
Right.
Like that is Black Ops 3. That is like
Okay.
so much. You can tell the writing is being dumbed down for these stupid fucking Americans playing this shit. They can't,
Damn.
understand technology terms. They're like,
Okay.
oh man, it's been a bit. I wish I had like an example fresh in my mind, but
Hold
it's
on.
actually
I'm not able to get past this. Are you saying that you have in fact owned every Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4?
I did not say owned. I've played all the single players, but let me think. I borrowed Ghosts. I would never spend money in my life on Ghosts, and I play the multiplayers too, just to get like an idea, because I feel like obligated. That's literally it.
Okay,
but,
so you maybe borrowed some of them from a friend, so you didn't actually pay money for every one of them.
Not for everyone.
Okay,
no,
all right. You saved a little bit of face.
For most of them. I paid money for most of them. But you know, thinking about the single player for 3, it's okay. But it didn't occur to me until later that the entire campaign is actually, you know, co-op for like the first time in the series. So, you know, if only I had someone with a large streaming audience that I could play some kind of co-op game with and have a number of people watch us.
I gotta go, guys. I gotta go.
All right, later, man.
I was just about to say, I'm really glad you didn't rope me in for playing. No, that would be fun. I'm sure just for the instant, because I haven't played a campaign since I think the same, maybe Black Ops. I think I played the Black Ops 2 campaign, but I don't remember. I might not have.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I liked the.
It's been
Black
a while.
Ops 1 and 2 had some pretty good campaigns. Like they always try to innovate the most. I feel they do.
Yeah, I mean, again, except I mean, it's usually just the fucking Michael Bay. I mean, again, but the action kind of just over the top shit. But I mean, generally the COD campaigns do that pretty well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I find myself like playing that. Like, it's just constant action and explosive like craziness that I get like so worn out. I have to take like a break, just because it's just so numbing. Yeah. Like there's no pacing to the levels in Call of Duty at all. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've played some Black Ops 3 multiplayer.
I tried a couple weeks ago, and then I uninstalled it. It took me 2 seconds. I was like, I shared this, but I was like, I'm too old. I can't handle like these. There's too much going on now. It's just
What
did you find? Did you have success? Were you?
Oh, I'm a fucking godlike player. Okay.
Okay.
But that game has been killed over time with supply drops and making weapons that you have to buy through crates, and like there's so many. This is like a minor complaint, but there are these, like, on the winning screen there are these gestures that you could pick, and it wasn't until I got into a lobby and won, and then everybody, the top 3 are all like some kind of twerking maneuver or some kind of, they're all dabbing. Like I can take a certain level of silliness, but when everyone in my realistic shooter is dabbing, I'm just like, am I playing some fucking free to play? Oh god, what was that shitty free to play game that was like tried to rival CS? You uploaded it. God,
fuck.
what is that called?
I know what you're talking about. Fuck, someone in chat will say it, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it just feels like I'm playing that, and it puts a sour taste in my mouth. But other than that, it's like I kind of enjoy like Black Ops 3. Not realistic was the joke, but I mean, I kind of enjoyed it. There's just something about the specialist Crossfire. Was it Crossfire or
is it Crossfire? No, Crossfire is a late 80s.
Shit, my bad. I just said
Crossfire.
No. Crossfire is also a first-person shooter.
Is it?
Yeah.
But was that the one that I uploaded? I don't think so.
Shit.
I don't watch your videos.
Well, I know, because you're not a real fan.
Okay,
Crossfire. Google. I'm literally typing Crossfire APL Fisher to see if I ever uploaded a Crossfire video. No, I didn't. Okay.
But let me see. Yeah, but it's fun. It's the weapon balance is good, but the specialist ability is just like I think they kill that game.
So were you playing that in preparation for your Infinite Warfare playthrough?
I'm not fucking getting Infinite Warfare, I swear to God. I saw that shit and I was shocked because Infinity Ward continues to innovate the least out of the three, like, people in the rotation, it feels like. Like Black Ops, Treyarch, they're doing the fucking, like, they did the pick 10 for the first time. What is it? Sledgehammer, they did like different movement for the first time. Infinite Warfare, in case you haven't seen, its multiplayer is a carbon copy of what Black Ops 3
Well, that's what happens when you put I mean, dude, if you're gonna put a COD out every year, like, I can't think of anything worse than being on the dev team or and in the idea room being like, all right, what the fuck, like,
what do we do?
Like, what do we like? What do we? You can only fucking, you know what I mean? Like, again, if they had like a release cycle where it was like, okay, we have one COD every 2 or 3. Obviously, it's a money machine, so they're going to continue to do this. But
yeah,
honestly, on the side of it, I'm just like, what can you fucking do with that game at this point? They're basically gone everywhere now. Now, like you said, like with movement and you can wall. It's basically become, they've gone to the future.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? Like, I don't know. And some
I'm
people
sure
like it. Some people like
that.
playing a new COD every fucking year. I don't understand.
I mean, they have to. I sympathize with them a little bit because they have to keep enough of it the same so that the people that love COD or for some reason keep buying it every year will want to buy it again. But
yeah,
they also like have to keep things a little bit fresh, and I don't necessarily think they always find that right balance. But I don't envy them having to put out a game every year.
No,
like that. I mean,
that's
how
rough.
do you do that and not have it get stale?
I mean, they don't have to. They could just be like, all right, we're going to release one game.
But, I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily agree philosophically with putting out a game every year like they do, but they only do it because they print money every time they do.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, again, like, if you're fucking, if you have a stake in Activision, you're not going to be like, all right, we make billions basically off COD every year, multiple, at least, I don't even know what the numbers are, but it's something fucking stupid. It's like, why would we not? But
just when you think you understand like the entire gaming space, just remember that there's hordes of people every year that just play like Call of Duty and maybe Madden.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
It's crazy to think about the amount of people playing games that we don't ever really think of as like the gaming space. They're just like they're just buying this stuff.
So much money. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more of those than we think of, like, oh, the hardcore. Like, I know instantly, like when somebody finds out that like I stream or play games for a living, right? The first thing they're like, oh, what do you play? Do you play Call of Duty? And right when that question comes to me,
oh my God,
I know who I'm talking to. Again, and I'm not judging, but it's those people. It's like, do you play Madden? And I'm like,
it's like surface
again,
level.
not that those people. It's surface level. It's just that they have like one console or whatever, and they play, And I'm just like, oh God,
dude,
no, I don't. I don't. But those people are not the minority, really. I would say.
Right.
I don't know about the majority, but there's millions of those people as well.
It's like if someone says, "Oh yeah, do you play Call of Duty?" You already sort of know the level that you're going to have to talk to them on, which is
discourse,
right? Like you're going to have to, if you want to have like a more in-depth conversation, you're going to have to explain a lot of things to them, right? You'll kind of have to explain, Twitch and like the ecosystem and all the stuff that they're only seeing Call of Duty because it's on TV commercials.
Exactly. Yeah, literally. Like I remember I had a conversation with somebody in my family. I think it was a cousin, and he was like, "Yeah." Oh, he's like, "You don't play Call of Duty?" He's like, "Oh, that's my shit." He's like, "Every dude." He's like, "I only play two things." It's exactly what you said. He plays Madden and he plays Call of Duty. And he was like, "Dude, those are my two. Every year it's like Christmas. I just can't wait to see." And they don't have any of the hate vitriol that you hear from the people that are really into COD.
Yeah.
They're just like, dude, they love the fucking insanity. Like they'll go in and they'll die 20 times and get 8 kills and they'll have a great time. Like they'll love it. And again, like God bless that those people exist, but we just operate on a different plane, I guess, as far as like what.
Yeah, we're like in the minutia and the details of every new Call of Duty that comes out. People
like that, right? Who can just enjoy it at face value and they're not talking about on a podcast about what fucking greedy thing act. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck. Like consumers, like, and they just.
That's the part that we lose the innocence of just being able to enjoy a game is like this pure experience. Because like you have to think the person that doesn't really play games all the time, they can probably pick up Call of Duty once a year. And they might, they play through the single player in one sitting, one weekend, and that's their jam. They love it. and they play the multiplayer every now and then, whatever. But like, they don't care about the gun stats. They don't care. Like, they're playing to have fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But we don't have fun anymore with games.
They'll use whatever gun looks the coolest.
We don't play games to have fun. We really
don't. We play games.
You know what's funny?
We play games to go on Reddit and know which gun is the best, and I'm only going to use that gun.
Exactly. We play games for every reason except fun. And if fun is a byproduct of that happening, we're actually shocked. Like, dude, I'm not kidding. When I'm actually having fun, a lot of times I don't even know what the feeling is like. Like I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm actually having fun. But that's probably more my issue. But yeah, we're so in the minutia of it. Like, when you're so ingrained in it, it's just hard to have that view anymore.
I would love to hear a conversation between someone like us trying to explain Field of View to like a seasonal COD player, right, and just like having no idea what we're talking about. Yeah. But yeah, I remember getting roped into like a conversation like that too, like freshman year of college. I'm talking about video games to like some people, and they're like, "What do you play? Call of Duty? You play 2K?" Like, I played Dark Souls, and just like, what the fuck is this kid talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, you actually are instantly the reject probably in that crowd. Where it's like Dark Souls.
Yeah, I'm the weeb instantly. Yeah, but I'll say one more thing about Infinite Warfare. After watching like so much gameplay, I noticed like something visually just doesn't seem right. Something looks like really just off. And like watching so much gameplay, I notice, and like hearing interviews, they're at least console versions. They've added in-engine motion blur that in an effort to make it look more cinematic. There's a great video on Drifter's channel where he takes like, Black Ops 3 PS4 gameplay and like Advanced Warfare gameplay, and he's showing in Vegas where it's like, I definitely have disabled resampling, and that effect is like blurry in the game. Like, he's going frame by frame, and it's.
We want to talk about the minutia.
Bro,
Katie said he's talking about
looks more cinematic, dude.
In an engine, like. But no, you're right. Yeah, that's actually retarded because motion blur is like instantly any game I load up, I am checking for motion blur.
First thing I turn on.
First thing every time.
That killed that's actually Uncharted 4 for me. Just the crazy motion blur in that game. But yeah, the average COD player is gonna see that and think, dude, it just looks so like fluid, bro. I love the way it looks, dude. Yeah, it's like
those conversations talk about like motion blur. Like when I talk to her, like, dude, did you see like there's a like they'll talk about a gun, right? Like they'll be like, dude, there's this killer new gun. Like you can there's a gun that shoots 25 nukes if you get like those are the kind of conversations that you can
run around with boxing gloves.
I'm not like I don't consider myself better than those people. I envy those people to like we've been talking about. Like I can't fault people for having fun. I'm glad that still exists, and again I get caught up in the fact that we're just so caught up in all the little details because we're so ingrained in kind of the gaming culture and the communities that we're in. It's hard to see outside the box, so it's good. It's a good reminder. Wow, Kitty, we've been discussing Call of Duty on this, but we just discussed Call of Duty on this podcast for like 20 minutes.
Oh, I can keep it going. I can keep going. I could talk about how Black Ops 3 added like so God, there's the like
save it for the Infinite Warfare launch, okay? We need
no,
we're not far from more Call of Duty talk here in less than a month.
Oh, this is specifically Black Ops 3 though. They've added in like all those melee weapons, and like there's this weapon that everyone has now called the Prize Fighters, where it's literally boxing gloves that are one-shot melee weapons. Now, I don't mind the occasional child playing Call of Duty that goes around knifing everybody, but when it's encouraged like this, and I'm playing, almost every lobby I get into has at least one, like, always knifing guy, and it's like so annoying to me. Just like,
he's getting for his montage.
His knifing montage? Who's gonna watch?
He's gonna be. Listen, Only Use Me Blade has kind of fallen from graces over the last 4 years. So he's gonna be the next Only Use. Yeah, dude.
The next Blade.
There's a niche to fill.
There is.
Only Use Me boxing gloves. Only Use Me samurai sword. They have in that.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever
Only Use Me wrench.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
There really is.
God. Anyways.
All right.
But yeah,
that's it, man. You played everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for someone who didn't have anything going on, I see now that you've been deep in the gaming world.
Yeah, that's
Good Lord.
I've got a lot of flashcards to go through, dude.
That was nice and rich. I'll go next real quick because I haven't really played much outside of just continuing to play some WoW. I've been gearing up, and that's still been fun. I've been playing with some friends, doing dungeons and stuff, and I'm finally to the point where now my character is like good enough to run stuff that people are actually looking for groups for, instead of like me having to run lower level stuff that no one really wants to run. So that's been fun. And other than that, just kind of like I played a little bit of Pokemon during TwitchCon. I heard that Coronado in San Diego is like the place for Pokemon, but I never actually got a chance to go there this time around.
I wish because I'm interested like how the scene is still going, like if it's died at all.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I think
much
it's
it has.
Yeah, I think it's probably died down a bit. But I mean, I saw a fair number of people playing like at TwitchCon, but that was obviously to be expected. In terms of people actually playing it just every day, it's definitely kind of on a downturn. But Niantic is rolling out more stuff. Like, I mean, I've said this before, but I'm just looking for something to play that I'm just like I can enjoy for a while, and Pokemon Go is going to be around for a long time. So I like made an investment of time up front to kind of level up and stuff, because I know that game will have a long enough lifespan that I'll enjoy it here and there in little chunks. But I'm not like, it's changed to where like I'm not going out on the weekends and just walking around, to hatch eggs or to catch gems or stuff like I would have done, like I did do when the game first came out, and that was a lot of fun. But some of that is kind of worn off because there's not nearly as much activity going on, like in the world of people playing.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, I play a little bit of Hearthstone, but mainly just WoW, kind of keeping up with that. They've made it.
WoW check-in. I know you were away at TwitchCon.
Yeah. No, I did not play at all during TwitchCon. So I'm clean. I'm clean during travel.
I'm clean. Yeah.
But no, they make it. That's the thing, is they make it really easy to feel like you're still progressing when you're not logged in, because they have the mobile app. They have this mobile app that allows you to do quests that you're just sending followers out. So like it's a mobile game too, effectively. And so I was still, I was like checking in, doing my quests on my phone. But other than that, I'm still trying to keep it under control. But it is still dominating my gaming time, but it's been fun.
How many hours would you think you've put into since like all total to the new?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Probably like 40. I don't know. 40, 50.
That's the way you said that.
Well, I don't know. Actually, so I think my month sub actually just ticked over. So it's been about a month.
Okay.
So no, I've probably, I don't know, 40 to 60. Like I've played quite a bit. I've played more than I probably would going forward, because like when I was gearing up, I felt really behind. And so when I'm behind, it's like every minute that I play, I'm like getting closer and closer to being able to play with my friends. Now that I'm at that point, I don't feel the need to play as much. Like I just sort of like do some daily stuff and knock it out. So I think going forward, I'll probably play a little less. But 40 to 60 hours, that's the thing. Like in WoW, 40 to 60 hours is literally nothing. Like you measure your WoW play time in days. So I've played a fair bit, but not anything I'm embarrassed about. Not yet.
Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're staying again in moderation.
I'm staying honest.
You're staying honest. That's good. I will go. I played. So Mafia 3 actually came out the Friday.
Oh. So
yesterday I played about 5 or so hours of it, and so came out. The big thing was that it was locked at 30 FPS on PC, right? So that was a huge deal. And so it came out on Friday. I was hoping that they said that the patch was going to be coming that weekend, and when I started playing it on Saturday, the patch hadn't come out. And then when I was playing, I played about 2 hours. The patch came out. I closed the game. They patched in 60 FPS and an unlimited option and a 60 FPS option. But I have a GTX 970. I have 2700K. Like I have a pretty decent PC by all means, and I'm running the game on medium. And despite the fact that they patched this thing, I cannot get a consistent. I rarely ever touch 60 FPS. And it's even more bizarre is that when I set it to unlimited, it like locks at 35. It won't go above 35. When I set it to 60, it'll depending on where I am. If I'm indoors, I can get like close to 55, 60. But as soon as I'm back outside, it's anywhere from 40 to 35 to 50. So the performance is a huge issue. So that's one of the negatives. The game, by all accounts, at least from what I'm seeing so far, definitely feels like they could have sat on it for another couple months and really polished it up. But that aside, I really enjoyed what I played. The voice acting, the soundtrack, the characters, and the story are really, really gripping. And so far, as far as how it's paced, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I'm only about 5 hours in, so I don't know. I've heard people say it starts to get repetitive. And it definitely, a lot of the mixed reviews and stuff you're seeing on Steam are due to the performance, which is totally valid because it's really actually bullshit. It runs so much shittier than Mafia 2 and looks quite a bit, in certain places, quite a bit worse than Mafia 2, which is kind of mind-boggling. Yes, wow. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a couple comparison videos out there and you can watch them. Even little things like when you fire your gun and you see all the bullet casings and shit on the ground, like not having, depending on what you're like, not even seeing that in Mafia 3. So there's a lot of little like customization options, which I think are coming in DLC later. There's a lot of issues and a lot of things to be mad about, but at the core, I think this is probably going to be a game. I said this when I was playing it. I think this is going to be a game that if you wait, I don't know, a year, 6 months or whatever, I think there's probably going to be a bunch of patches and they'll get that stuff sorted and it's going to be a way better experience, down the road. Cause like with Mafia, I don't know how Mafia 2's launch was. I didn't play that till way later, but when I played it, it like ran perfectly. It looked amazing, was able to run everything on high. But so I don't know. Like, so if you're waiting to spend $60, if you really like the Mafia franchise, I don't know, like it's definitely playable. It's not, I think you're going to have mixed results depending on what your system is like. And if you're okay with, I don't know, like maybe if you have a 1080, maybe you get consistent 60, but I have a pretty decent rig and I pretty much run a lot of games on high or whatever with my 970. And I like, this game is just, I think it's just terribly optimized and poorly coded. So of a port. But I'm hearing that at least on consoles, it looks like a fucking PS2 game. So I think I think the PC, as far as visuals, probably looks the best. Yeah, but I'm hearing people on console really upset, or at least the people that I don't know that are aware of the fact that it's on PC are not happy with how it looks. But definitely enjoying the story. So I'm gonna finish that up this week, and then just Counter-Strike as per usual. I kind of fell off with Deus Ex. I kind of lost interest, Katie. I'm not going to lie. Not that it's a bad game, but it kind of lost me about 8 or 9 hours in because the main story isn't as strong as Human Revolution at all. And I think that's kind of where the side stuff is all really good and it builds on a lot of the stuff that made Human Revolution good. But I don't know. The campaign, the story just kind of lost me there. But I hope you'll finish it and tell me what you thought. I know Tim's in here and he did a review and he basically said the same thing. That it's just not as strong as the first one. It's not a terrible game, but it kind of starts to trail off towards the end. So
yeah, it is a bit samey after a while.
Samey.
I was thinking repetitive, but I didn't think it would be that. So
I like samey.
Samey. I've heard samey before.
Yeah, it might be. I'm sure it's a word. Is it a word?
Used by other gaming journalists like myself.
Fair enough. Never. All right, cool. Well, let's get into, unless there's anything else, we do want to talk. Are we at all mentioning that? I don't see this written in the doc anywhere, but are we mentioning something called Extra Life? Because we probably should.
We should.
Coming up.
We should.
It's not even in the doc. But
it's not.
It's because Brad's not here.
It's not.
I know he would have put it in there, but
yeah,
we got Extra Life coming up.
We should give it some primetime space here because that will be next weekend is our Extra Life marathon.
Yes.
So quite a few of us will be in Pittsburgh doing the event over the course of 3 days. So we're not, I think schedule is still a little bit tentative, but it's not going to be like a straight 24 hours or 48 hours or anything. We're going to do split up into 3 days. So we're going to do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that will be the 14th, 15th, and 16th of October. And so we'll be live here on the KBMOD channel, twitch.tv/KBMOD. So if you're listening to the audio version of this, you have almost a week lead time. We're going to be around all weekend, raising money like we do every year for Extra Life and Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I think we will have more like articles and stuff with the schedule, I think, coming out on kbmod.com. Some of that's still in flux, but we'll have, as we do every year, some giveaways. We'll have maybe some special guests, things that are in flux that we don't even probably know about here on the cast. I believe we probably will do some sort of live version of the podcast, most likely on Saturday, if I had to guess. So I would say just stay tuned. Stay tuned to Twitter and to kbmod.com, and we'll post more about it. But the all you need to know is be here, come join us live Friday through Sunday next weekend, and help us
block
raise
out
money.
your schedule. It's going to be, I can't stress enough about how worth it is. It's one of the best times of the year just because of everybody that's in town and the stuff that we're doing. The venue is the best venue we've had up to this point of any year we've done it. So that's exciting. I think the production's going to be ramped up a notch as well. The fact that Brandon's going to be here is exciting. Some other special guests as we've mentioned. And there's a lot of that anyway. There's if you haven't participated or you're just listening to this and you're like, oh, I just listen to the podcast, I don't do anything else with KBMOD. This weekend, be around.
This is your chance to really get involved and feel like part of the community. This is the most important thing we do year after year. This is like, of all of the things that I am, proud to be a part of KBMOD, this is the biggest one. This is like the biggest impact we've made. And the only reason we keep doing this thing is because we're able to raise so much money and really make a difference for these children's hospitals in our area. And so we all have our own donation page. We're all playing for different hospitals. We all have different reasons for why we're playing, but would encourage you to come by next weekend. If you can donate, we would love you to donate. If you can't donate, then participate or get your friends involved or get family involved or whatever. Spreading the word or just showing up and being here and supporting us in that way. Whatever you can do, all of that really matters. So if you're here live, Tim put a link in the chat. We do have, if you're listening to the audio version, we do have an article up on the site on kbmod.com that has a schedule. So we're starting at 5 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, and we're going to go until about 3 a.m. Eastern each night. So anyway, go check out the schedule on kbmod.com. Or you can also click from there to join our team. If you plan on streaming for Extra Life yourself, you can join our team, KBMOD and the Internet Famous. And so, like I said, participate. If you can donate, that's awesome too. There's so many different ways you can participate in Extra Life this year. Just do whatever you can. And if all you can do is come and join us and have fun, that's good enough.
Do that. Yep. Exactly.
So we will see you next week. The podcast will be, like I said, a slightly different format. So we will not have the podcast on Sunday night. So it will not be here live Sunday night. It will most likely be live on Saturday night. I don't know if that's already on the schedule, but I'm saying it now, and I hope that it's right.
It'll be Saturday. As far as, again, that's how it's been in the past. Whatever, we'll let you know.
We'll figure it out. Right. But we won't be live at our normal time next weekend. So there will be some sort of cast. It just won't be the normal cast like you see here. So I think anything else to promo with Extra Life? Show up next week, Friday through Sunday.
Be there, man. Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, the podcast, according to the schedule right now, on Saturday the 15th is scheduled for 9:30. So. That Perfect. Is where it is. So
9:30. So more like 11.
Exactly. Yeah, let's bump that up. Yeah. Let's actually bump that up because it looks like I'm playing scary games at 11:30 p.m. on the fucking Oculus or something.
Oh my god!
So let's actually, let's actually bump out that and let's just have a podcast from 9:30 to like 12 or something.
Yeah. You haven't played the Outlast 2 demo, have you?
No, I have not.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay, apparently people have. Bob said he has stuff this year that is child's play compared to stuff I did last year. So I'm actually terrified because stuff has really advanced since last year. So
yeah, this. So real quick before we move on, there are already some good things scheduled. Like Scott mentioned, Scott playing scary games on Saturday night. We've got a dive kick tournament. We're doing an Overwatch tournament. I see GoldenEye Source on here.
Oh hell yeah!
Rock Band again. Rock Band last year was ridiculous. There's so much fun stuff. We're gonna have a lot of awesome people in attendance. So basically, just all of next weekend, just keep browser tab open with KBMOD, KBMOD's Twitch page.
I see CS:GO Badlands, which were very popular.
Those were great.
We did those CS, so that's at 1 a.m. on Saturday. So be there for that too.
A fitting time.
It is very fitting for the level of gameplay that we're gonna watch. So of course, Rock Band is always good. There's a lot. This schedule is fucking lit. So check it out. And anyway, be here. So
awesome. You want to move into the news? There is some news. We've had 2 weeks off.
We should talk a little bit about the news. The schedule doesn't have a time zone. It's in EST EST.
Yeah, all times in Eastern time.
Eastern time. Well, let's go here, Brent. I'll let you take this. I mean, this is
So this would have been a great segue after us talking about TwitchCon, but we kind of missed the segue opportunity. Anyway, we'll just cold open right into it. So TwitchCon happened, and there are a few announcements. If you care about all of those announcements, you can go to the Twitch blog. But one in particular I wanted to highlight here because I think it's pretty awesome and newsworthy in its own right. They announced a program called Twitch Prime, which, if you've been paying attention, is like Amazon Prime. In fact, it is the same thing. Yes. It is basically Twitch additional benefits on top of your existing Amazon Prime account. So if you're already an Amazon Prime subscriber, now with Twitch Prime, it basically rolls the benefits of Turbo into Twitch Prime. So you get ad-free viewing. You get like each month gaming stuff. So like this first month was an exclusive Hearthstone hero, which I was like actually really psyched about. I thought that was really awesome. And each month, the thing that I think a lot of people have been keying in on, which is really cool, is that each month you get a free subscription to any channel on Twitch, and that channel gets paid for it like a normal subscription, but you get it for free. So that's already been pretty nuts to see.
I mean, as a broadcaster, I can't even tell you. I can't even fucking tell you. I've gained, just in Twitch Prime subs, I gained probably over 100 this past week because of that. Because also getting that free sub, which again doesn't auto renew, but people can use on whatever channels they want every month. A lot of people have chosen to use it on me and other. Honestly, like we talked a little bit about the keynote or whatever at TwitchCon, but there were a lot of good things in here, and I think definitely the most exciting one was Twitch Prime, and this is like directly impacting partner broadcasters in a really big way, including myself. So definitely a really cool thing. And so many people, I mean, again, it's just natural. So many people I know have Amazon Prime already just for the shipping stuff, because I buy so much stuff online. Like it's just like an added bonus if you're a gamer. Like I guess if you're on the fence, it's like, well, I already watch Twitch. I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon. I guess why wouldn't you do this at this point?
Yeah. It's basically really just added benefits if you already have Prime. And if you don't have Prime, I think it makes it a pretty ridiculous deal. It's in, I think.
It depends on the country. It's not in all countries, but it's
right. It does depend on the country. So I think there's about 6 countries. I don't have the link right in front of me, but several of the major countries that has Amazon Prime, it's available there. And so I know it's available like U.S. and Canada and several of the European countries, but I don't remember them offhand. So anyway, if you already have Amazon Prime, all you have to do is go and link your account at twitchprime.com, and it's just you link your account and then you're good to go. So there's basically no reason to do it if you already have Amazon Prime, or no reason not to do it.
Right.
So exactly. if you haven't done it already, go link your account and then send KBMOD your free subscription. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. KBMOD is spelled APL Fisher when you do twitch.tv/, and then you can head over there and
it's weird. The characters don't look the same, but
they don't look the same, but it will redirect to the same spot. You'll be fine. But yeah, no, honestly, Twitch Prime is fantastic. There was a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, definitely that has been making waves. So excited about, honestly, really excited to see how that's been going for, at least on the broadcaster side, for me too. So all right. Well,
in even bigger news.
Now, I don't know how we can follow
we had to
Twitch Prime with anything else.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is monumental.
dude, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the king of fun himself, the king of fun, is making a video game. I know you've all been asking for it. Yes. How can renowned astrophysicist and Twitter power user help design a game? Well, he did.
I love that. That's actually his subheading here is renowned astrophysicist and Twitter power user. Like that's part of his brand now.
Oh my god! Wow. I love that. I love also the passive aggressiveness by Andy Chalk on this. This is literally the start of this article. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, whose chief joy in life seems to come from sucking the fun out of everything by explaining in painful detail why it's not possible to do all that cool stuff you see in movies and video games. What a sentence! Is making a video game. So I mean, I don't disagree. But yeah,
he's making like a space. I mean, as you would expect, it's like a space odyssey video game.
Yeah, and yeah, you can part of the gameplay. You can grow a planetary system, and then you basically have to like mature the planets, create colonies. It sounds like it's going to be, I don't know as far as view and stuff. Like, it doesn't really say in the article if it's going to be like a strategy game. It kind of seems like it.
Yeah, it seems like they're sort of following
like
Minecraft.
Resource management or something. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Like
exactly.
I mean, it seems like it very focused on like an educational kind of imaginative type of game, which seems cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like again,
also, I'm not sure how much like he will actually play a part in the game. Like he's the person that grabs the headline, right? Like Neil deGrasse Tyson's making a game, but like he's not actually making it.
No, I'm sure he's just consulting.
Yeah,
or,
so
whatever.
I'm not sure how much influence he'll really have.
Yeah, someone's asking in chat. Bob's asking in chat if he remembers me. I told this story. I told this on a Lunch in Progress episode when I was still at Respawn. Was in traffic on my way to work, or I think it was lunchtime. I was picking up lunch in LA. Literally, somebody's waving at me manically to let them get over and get in front of me so they can take a right on red. I look over to my left. It's fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson in the car, waving at me. And I roll down my window. I'm like, Neil deGrasse Tyson? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, do you mind if we get over? He's like, we're late and we really we can't miss this street or whatever. So I was like, wow, no one's going to fucking believe. I had my phone. I didn't even think of taking a picture. That would have been weird.
Wait,
I guess I'm driving. Anyway.
That actually happened?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I was going to say.
Yeah, no. I'm not trolling.
I do not. I actually don't believe you sitting here.
Well, exactly. You don't believe me now. That's why nobody will believe me. But and then like I literally said to him, I was like, nobody will believe this. And he was like, well, we'll know it happened. He was pleasant. He was a cool guy. I mean, he's in LA, I'm sure, all the time. And then anyway, he cut me off and took a right. But so anyway, that's the only interaction I've had with him. He seemed like a pretty nice dude, but I definitely get the kind of fatigue that people have with him, where he's just like his whole thing is like, I mean, he's a good speaker and stuff. Like, I mean, I can watch some of stuff. He does a good job at kind of dumbing down some stuff for, that might be a little bit hard to vibe.
He seems like a pretty witty guy, but he's like at this point, you sort of know what.
Is he overexposed?
Yeah, you know what to expect from him. Like he's gonna have like that one-liner that that does really well on Twitter. Like that's his whole life now. Is like Twitter one-liners.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Which again, I mean, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure he gets paid a shit ton to go speak at places and whatever else. I'm sure it's a good life. It's interesting too. We have this cycle though. That there's a certain cycle with anything, and this is going to go back. I don't want to get too off topic, but he's another example of like, if you are popular long enough, or if you are in the limelight long enough, eventually people will hate you. There's a tick over. There's an absolute tick over, and I don't know exactly why that is, but maybe that's just human nature, and maybe it's a level of like jealousy or like whatever you think, like this, like who does this guy think he is? But I even find myself too, I'll be like, why do I dislike? Like again, there can be legitimate things, like you said, like he always has got to be the guy who's like, well, that's not possible in Transformers.
You know what?
It's like, of course it's not possible.
He seems like the guy that when he's writing a tweet or writing a response, he sort of reads over it and is like, yeah, that's gonna be a good one. Like the guy that sort of admires his own work.
Yeah, kind of. I'm sure he does. Which again, nothing wrong with that, but really at the end of the day. But yeah, it is interesting. I guess I should if I want to learn more, I should look into why that is. But I just feel like there's always that cycle where it's just like, all right, now like this person was. I think another good example of that. Again, not that there aren't legitimate reasons, but sometimes it can be somebody who's doing the same thing that they've done forever, and it's consistently good. But then still, all of a sudden, you see like you'll just see hate for it. I'm like, why? Like, okay, now people are turning. Oh, now this person isn't cool anymore. Okay,
Yeah.
I must have missed the memo. I don't know why. Anyway, interesting. He's definitely kind of one of those two. I haven't ever listened to his podcast, but I have heard it's good. Someone in chat saying his podcast is still pretty good. So I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, he seems like one of those guys that probably is actually, if you like get to know him on a slightly deeper level, like a podcast or I don't know, documentary or something like that, he's probably got a lot of smart things to say. But then he's also got this other side of his personality that is like just Twitter one-liner side that you can, you get sick of, like just how it goes.
Yeah. I'm actually going to unfollow everybody and only follow him and just live on, get ready for his, I'm going to clear my list out and then
follow Neil deGrasse Tyson and Notch and
Notch. Exactly.
Call it a day.
Oh God. All right. That would result in me hurting myself probably. All right. Well, there you go. So if you want to check out his game is called Space Odyssey, keep an eye on that. Like you said, definitely seem to go the Minecraft route, which isn't a bad idea. Which isn't a bad idea. I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't know if he came up with this idea, if a company came to him was like, listen, he's well known. He's like kind of like the approachable science guy. We can make a shit ton of money making a game with his name on it, like even in the name of education, if it becomes something like that.
Definitely.
So makes sense. All right. So next news article here. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is happening. The original game is actually free on PC next week. Yeah, not this week, but next week. I've never played Beyond Good and Evil. I know it has a pretty heavy, I don't even know about cult following. I think it sold pretty well, but I've heard that these games are pretty. Have you guys played either of these?
No, I haven't, but I just know I have seen people talking about this, that like this was a thing they wanted to happen. And so I'm not, like, I don't have any attachment to this, but I know a lot of people seem to.
Right. Exactly. So some good news, and it's always nice to have like the original. The fact that it's going to be free on PC, might have to check it out. So anyway, if that's your thing, if Beyond Good and Evil is your thing, Katie's, I'm guessing these are on your flashcards.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't played it, but it's definitely on the list. It was a free game for like a PlayStation Plus subscriber. So
right,
sometime I will get around to it. But
okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games that is just, on that cult level where people are just praying for the sequel.
Exactly. All right. We're going to talk a little bit here about Oculus because they've unveiled a wireless Rift prototype and looks pretty cool. I mean, that's enticing.
Yeah,
looks pretty
Oculus
cool.
had they had like their, I forget what it's called, Oculus, it's their event. I can't remember what it's called. Oculus Connect, I think. Maybe
Oculus Connect, yeah.
Yeah. And so there's probably, I would guess for VR enthusiasts, there's probably a lot more news, and I'm sure there's at least one person who will be annoyed that this is like the one thing we talk about, and they probably talked about a bunch of other stuff that's like more close at hand and probably more relevant. But this wireless Rift prototype is interesting because I think it's like this is basically where VR I think has to go to get more mainstream attention and like actually
to be more accessible.
VR I feel like has all this attention without like the actual application just yet. But having it be wireless is one step closer to that. So I thought this was cool. There's like from this article, there's an actual picture of someone wearing it. And it's still kind of a little bulky, but obviously if there are no wires, like that's a huge step. So I don't know. I actually don't know how far off this is, but this goes to show you like this stuff is iterating so quickly that
it really is. Yeah,
it's hard to keep track of like what is the current gen, what is coming next, when is this wireless thing coming. It'll make you dizzy just thinking about like all of the advancements that are in the pipeline, and is there even a right time to get on that train?
Yeah, I feel like we talk about this all the time, but I feel like I'm still so far away from even remotely. Like again, like it's fun, like I'll have fun and extra life with it and stuff like that, but I have zero desire to really be investing into, I don't know, nothing. I mean, I guess
it's like something that you want your friend to own because you want to go over like once in a while and play it.
Yeah,
but you don't
once
want
a year, twice.
You don't want to spend the money on it and like have to clear out a room in your house and all that.
Exactly.
Like, it really is.
That's
I
how
feel like it is exactly. It's like owning a boat. It's like you don't want to own a boat yourself.
It's a good analogy.
But you really want to be friends with the guy that owns a boat.
It's a good point. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, for you enthusiasts out there, that's probably good news. But you're right. Oculus and the whole VR movement has a ton of traction without actually having stuff that, not that it's super cumbersome, but it's definitely it hasn't hit the mainstream right yet. So it just goes to show, I think once, like you said, as it goes wireless and as they continue to continue to revamp it and change the tech and make it more accessible, it's, I think in the next couple of years, it's going to be everywhere. If it's like you said, if it has this much traction when it's still this kind of clunky, right, to this level.
Yeah.
So,
and this one, I think this prototype is actually, the computer is mounted on the back of the headband, and so it's actually not like it's not actually wireless in that data is being transmitted wirelessly. It's just that it's all self-contained on that headset.
On the headset, right?
But that could be, I mean, like, mobile technology is getting to the point where like the chip in a cell phone can put out pretty good graphics. So there is a future where maybe the system is literally small enough to be on the headset instead of having to be driven from a desktop.
Razer builds some kind of expansion card slot that you stick it like onto the little CPU or whatever's on the back of the headset, and it's just a fucking like GTX 1080.
Oh my god!
On the back of it's like, well, I mean, it can do
1080 in it.
Yeah, exactly. It can do like okay graphics if you want like mobile phone stuff, but if you really want it, like if you want to play Battlefield 1 on this thing, you're gonna need to get a 1080 attached to your headset. Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, but all right, so let's get into the quick hits here. A new Overwatch hero has been leaked. And I don't know, Katie, and I don't know how much Overwatch you didn't really mention Overwatch at all. Did you play any Overwatch this week?
No, I'm not an Overwatch at all, honestly. I mean, I enjoy it. I'm just not like, I don't keep up with it.
I'm the same way. I haven't played Overwatch in forever, but it appeared on the it appeared on the Overwatch Reddit and originated from a Russian Overwatch group. So you know that it's probably legit hacking info, right? If it's the Russians.
Oh yeah, they've got all the servers.
It features an image of Sombra as well as paragraphs of text. Basically, it's funny that this originated from Russia, but she's the character, backstory on this is that she's one of the world's most notorious hackers.
Yeah.
Which is
hacking
kind of
her way in. On the screenshot, it says she will be hacking her way into the build later tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, people believe that it's going to be unveiled on October 18th, the new hero Sombra. So if you play Overwatch, I'm sure you already know this, but anyway.
Yeah, and then they're also it looks like they're probably doing Halloween loot boxes, which is actually not even surprising now. That seems to be sort of their business model with Overwatch, which I think is pretty smart, is like the themed loot boxes. And I mean, I feel like every game at this point is like getting loot boxes or something, but I also don't hate that, because I think that makes when you look at Rocket League and H1Z1 and Overwatch and all of these games where they're just basically saying you can pay us more money if you want to have all the cool cosmetics. And honestly, I have no problem with that. If you implement it in a way that doesn't affect the gameplay, I actually think that's a really cool model.
I totally agree.
Because Rocket League is $20, and I mean we're talking about Overwatch here, but so Overwatch is $60. I think Overwatch is a pretty good deal for $60. I think Rocket League's a great deal for $20. But if we want those games to have really long lifespans, they've got to be able to get more money out of people than just $20 one time. And so I think I really like seeing this model as we get into a world where I think especially, I don't know, this is going to diverge a little bit, but I think this is a cool topic. Where Rocket League, do we want Psyonix to have to release Rocket League 2 in a few years just because they want to sell new copies? Or do they just make Rocket League and then the game is Rocket League, right? And Rocket League is the only Rocket League that ever exists, but they keep building on top of the game in a way that allows them to continue making money. And I think that's how, especially an esports game like Rocket League is, and like how Overwatch aspires to be, that's the only way that an esports game I think is going to be able to survive. Is if you have
Yeah,
that
I
model
agree.
that allows you to continue making money and justifying pouring resources into that game.
No, I totally
Right.
agree. I definitely would prefer people, games in general go the cosmetic route. And again, I would say the CS model because again, the new CS game is released roughly every 10 years or whatever it is. And I think that model is extremely successful. To have the core, and especially if you want to have a competitive scene in your game. Like,
Well,
I mean,
look at the games that aren't doing it. And I think
well,
the games that aren't
exactly.
doing it and are still like successful are just the large games, right? Like Call of Duty is still successful, but I think it's only successful because of the massive marketing machine behind it
Sure.
and the fact
Yeah,
that they sell
absolutely.
so many copies. So I think that it would be very difficult to replicate Call of Duty's success for
Yeah,
anyone that's not Call of Duty.
exactly. No, I totally agree. At least in the current climate, and I think it's been proven. Like, at least as far as I know, like I have no problem paying for cosmetic stuff. Oh, I just forgot to rant about the fucking sprays update that they did in CS:GO. I don't know if you saw this. We didn't put this
Oh,
in
I
here,
did. I did.
but
We
this
still have
reminds
time.
me.
We're not
do.
done with quick
I-
hits. It could be a
No,
quick hit.
this is fine.
need to
Yeah.
hear.
This ties into this because I'm usually fine with cosmetic stuff, right? But so recently in the CS:GO update, and I have to say, like, I've been pretty as easy on Valve, or at least I gave them some props for fixing some real technical things with the game over the past couple weeks. And it's like they like to garner a little bit of goodwill, and then they like to just fucking nuke it. It's because again, like it comes back to Valve will do what they want regardless. Not that they don't take in feedback into consideration, but they will continue to do what they want. And they released sprays, which initially everybody was excited about. Again, we knew we weren't going to get custom sprays like back in the day where it's fucking goatsy all the time or a fake T player model and stuff. But, we just knew in the current ecosystem it's not going to happen. But it was still cool. Like, okay, it's cool to bring sprays back. But what they did with
CS:GO
it,
sprays are when many of us saw naked ladies for the first time.
that's exactly true, right? Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I mean, again, and it was a free feature. Okay, right? It was never again, and I know that CS:GO is much
Brought
bigger
the
of a game
internet
than
to your doorstep.
it did. It did. I saw a lot of the most horrific things. I think I saw Tub Girl first off of a
That's
CS
a popular one.
spray, a very popular one. So they brought this back. They brought these spray canisters. They came out with these spray canisters, and basically to kind of test it out, when you start up your game after this update, everybody gets one spray assigned to them at random. I think mine says sorry. Just says sorry with like green text and graffiti kind of looking thing. And so you're like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, it's neat. They also changed the way that you actually apply sprays, which is really annoying. And I'll get into why they did that. But normally you would hit what was spray? Was it
T, I think.
It used to be inspect gun, which is F, I think.
Oh.
Well, it's T in this. Maybe it was T the whole time. I don't remember. But whatever you had your keybind to, you would hit it right on a surface, and it would just spray it on whatever it was. So this time, when you hit your key, basically like the graphic comes up, and you have to go over and then left click on a surface to actually apply it. And you go,
okay.
That's kind of weird. Like, why would they do that? And then you realize that they thought about this whole thing because you get a limited use of your spray before you have to buy another one.
Are you shitting me?
You get 50 sprays from your can. And once it's gone, folks, it's gone, and you have to either buy another or get a drop. But they are literally limiting the use of how many times you can do it. And you go, like, it's anyway, it's been a pretty big shitstorm. And I don't have a problem with them. Making this, seem like, again, a cosmetic item that you can spray on the map. I don't have a problem with them making money off of this. But the fact that they're actually limiting the use is just a bridge too far. Like, it's just like, come the fuck on. That's just so greedy. And, and even if they made them a little more expensive, it was like, okay, it's $5. I don't know exactly what it is per can, but it was like, if it's $5 or whatever they sell for in the market, they'll be more, rare or whatever else as they get into the ecosystem. Like, even if you make it $10, but it's unlimited, I'd be like, okay with that. Like, okay, that's cool. So anyway, it's just so shitty, especially because people have been playing this game for a long time. Like, this was a feature that was free originally regardless. So it just feels like a super huge slap in the face. And
I think
again,
anytime like limited use stuff never seems to go well with free to play. Like, because it
right.
you can never feel good about a purchase, because
No,
you know that it's
exactly.
going to go away. Even if you don't even use it 50 times, it's about the fact that you don't really want to.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so when I'm going back to the whole annoyance of having to hit your T button and then left click to apply it. You go, why did they do this? And we were thinking about it. And that was actually funny. Dispel. I don't know if he's a viewer and somebody in my chat. He was like, that they did this because they thought about the fact that people are going to complain when they accidentally hit their T key.
Yep.
And if they don't have another confirm system, they're going to have these tickets of people being like, I accidentally sprayed or my key freaked out. I need you to replenish. And they were like, there's zero chance we're going to make it a two-step process. And that also makes me fucking mad because they thought that minute detail about the fact that we're going to really fucking put these people over the barrel for this stuff. And again, people can be like, oh, it's cosmetic. It doesn't matter. You don't have to use it. And that's totally true. But it's more the principle of how fucking again, how much they're gonna squeeze this. Dude, I'm fine with being squeezed.
Yeah.
But you can't grab both my balls and put them in a fucking vice over. Again, I just won't buy. I'm just not gonna fuck with it. That's fine. But it makes you feel like they have zero respect for the consumer.
Well, I think it means that people aren't going to collect sprays the way that people will collect skins.
Sure.
Right? Because with an unlimited use item, you just want a big collection. You want to be able to pick from stuff. With limited use, you're not thinking in that way. You're not thinking, let me get this thing because I'll always have it. It's like you're much more likely to be hesitant to spend money on it because you don't want to just have a bunch of limited use items sitting there.
No,
you want to have a collection, and it's not a collection if it can go away.
Nope. Yeah. So definitely Valve is back on the shit list. Which again, not that they were ever off of it, but there was definitely some positive vibes as far as some of the updates that they were doing. And it has been better. And I'm not saying that just because they put out cosmetic stuff that they're not working on the actual engine and a lot of the problems. They have been addressing them. I mean, they changed all the gun sounds, all the rifle sounds have changed, anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But they are working on actual things for gameplay, but it's this shit is just, there's really no excuse for this, and people see it for the fucking money, kind of just over the top money grab that it is, and people are upset. So I'm actually going to be really curious. I wonder if this is something that they'll recant on, or they'll just wait for the storm to die, which I think they will, and it'll just be what it is. And like you said, if they look at the bottom line, they're like, wow, if we actually made these things unlimited use, people would be a lot more into it, which I totally agree with your logic, Brandon. I think that's the only way if the bottom line moves, then we might see them renege this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be
I think the creators will make more money with an unlimited use system. So that's what you would think Valve would want to look out for. But, who knows? I feel like there's maybe some reasoning behind it that they have. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. Because this doesn't seem like the natural choice.
No.
So they have to have some agenda. Otherwise, I think... because it was clearly a conscious choice to make it limited. Whereas if you were just going to implement sprays, you would think you would naturally do it the way that they'd done it before and just put it in the market, right? Make it like skins. You don't have a certain number of times you can put your gun skin on, and there's a reason for that. So
right.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it shakes out. There's been a lot of backlash, but Valve's not afraid of backlash.
No, exactly. That's one thing. That's one thing we know Valve isn't afraid of. And they can weather backlash well, sadly. All right, so talk to me about the DualShock 4 USB adapter issue, Katie. I don't know. I feel like this has to be a you issue. You're muted, by the way.
I think his mic's muted.
Shit! Why does that keep happening?
Professional podcast.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
back.
You know it. All right, so I remember a couple weeks ago talking about this DualShock 4 USB adapter, being pretty pumped, pretty jazzed. It has since released and has been pretty disappointing on a number of levels. So, the DualShock 4 has, by itself, just hooking it up with a regular USB, it does not get recognized just as a controller by any game. That's how it's always been. No game has always recognized it. You would have to DS4 Windows, I believe it's called, is the go-to program to basically emulate a 360 controller. But I'm not even sure if that is what happens, because when I play Rocket League with it, it recognizes it having PS4 buttons right out. Mm-hmm, but okay, besides that, so with this USB adapter coming out, you think, oh, well, great. I don't have to deal with that anymore. It'll just plug in and work. Well, sort of. It only recognizes your DualShock 4 as a controller when you either use it for remote play with your PS4 or you use it with PlayStation or PlayStation Now, that service. Those are the only two uses. It's even worse. The audio port, or on the bottom of the controller, the headphone jack, there is no audio interface at all, no matter how you connect it. Going through that, you can't use a headset, you can't use a microphone, not even with remote play. Very frustrating that way also. So it looks like the solution now. I tried. You could use a just a regular Bluetooth universal adapter and hook it up that way. I haven't had any luck with it. I think mine might be busted. But yeah, so that looks like it is still the solution. It's not, as cut and dry as, a 360 controller where it just syncs up,
right?
As it should, which is very disappointing.
Yeah, that is a shame.
So you're a big fan.
Easy to hook up an Xbox controller. Like you literally just plug it in with a USB cord.
It seems like it should be a no-brainer.
I love the 360 controller. I haven't got an Xbox One controller, which I heard of just is even better. Do you just like the PS4 controller? I mean, PS4 controller is good. I have a PS4.
Yeah.
But do you just prefer the PS4 over an Xbox One controller? Do you have have you tried the new one?
I don't know if I prefer it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I use an Xbox One controller for the majority of games, like Dark Souls 3.
Okay, I didn't know if you use 360 or Xbox One. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have an Xbox One and a PS4 controller that I kind of switch between because I prefer certain games for different controllers, like games that are more intensive use of the D-pad. I prefer using the DualShock 4 because it's made for extensive use. The way the Xbox One controller's D-pad just feels like it's not meant for playing a side scroller or something, just because there's that distinct click every time you move in a direction, and something about that just doesn't feel as satisfying as a DualShock D-pad or the D-pads of old, Genesis, Super Nintendo. So, but it just feels unnatural to me. So I prefer the different controllers for different games. But
it seems like this should just work more easily. They're both x86, so I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why the PS4 wouldn't work as naturally as the Xbox controller does. Maybe there's some technical hurdle there, but it doesn't feel like there should be.
Yeah, it's pretty odd.
In the meantime, it kind of sucks because if you own a PS4, the only reason I even have this Xbox controller is because I own an Xbox One. And so it's nice that just happened to be able to double as a PC controller. So I would be kind of upset if I only owned a PS4, but I also game on PC, and hey, I want to play a game like Rocket League or Dark Souls or a racing games that just work better with a controller. I'd be kind of annoyed if I couldn't just use my PS4 controller the same way I can an Xbox controller. They're basically the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I have this Xbox One controller, and I don't have an Xbox One. I literally bought this and the wireless adapter because it was just such a hassle to plug it in every time, set up DS4 windows every time to get it to work. So I pretty much have to use this. Even when I want to use the DualShock 4, just the convenience of the Xbox One controller. It really sucks because I like that DualShock 4. I think it's a good controller. But yeah. Hopefully there's an update to the software, a patch maybe. I don't know. We can hope. But this is just a PSA. Do not buy the DualShock 4 USB adapter unless you know what it can do, unless you plan on doing, PS Now exclusively.
as I'm sure many do.
Oh yeah, there's a brimming. I haven't tried that out, by the way. I think I'm sitting on a free trial I need to do for that, just to test and see how well it streams.
You should review that service and put it up on KBMOD.com.
It's an excellent new releases this week. That's a good idea. I think I'll do that. But yeah, so new releases, nothing, not too much this week. Gears of War 4.
That indie title comes out. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to see that studio get some support from Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I haven't heard about Gears. I haven't played it. I've never owned an Xbox, but it feels like Gears has been kind of out of the mainstream for a while.
For a bit. People still
maybe
Yeah, this seems like a pretty big release. Have the previous games been on PC? I don't think they have been.
I think they're trying to get the first one on PC. That's what I remember hearing, but I know.
But historically they haven't been, right? Because I have I've not played more than maybe 10 minutes of a Gears title because it was always only on console. And so I'm interested to see how Gears plays on PC because I think this is the first time it's really been on PC in earnest.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like I'm gonna have to upgrade to fucking Windows 10 to play this thing, but I am really curious to see how. I know I'm really curious to see. This is one of the few titles that I would be like, because I'm eventually gonna upgrade to Windows 10 on my the way that because I've had all these problems. I've talked about this before, but when I first did Windows 10, I had all these conflicts or issues. It was doing weird shit with OBS. I can keep Windows 7 on my stream PC, and I can put Windows 10. Not that I won't have issues, but I can put Windows 10 on my gaming PC. So that's how I'm rationalizing it. And I know other people have no problems with Windows 10 or whatever, but I'm still a little bit gun shy. But I think because, like you're saying, Brandon, I'm really curious to see how it plays on PC.
Yeah,
so,
well, I got a free
because I like watching people play it, and I played it a little bit, but always casually, and I never was good.
Yeah, I got a key for it with my 1070, so I have a copy of it now. That I guess I got to find out how to even play games through the Microsoft Store. I redeemed it. Right. I just don't know where I redeemed it. I don't really know how to play. I don't know how to play anything on the Windows Store. But if you end up checking it out, I have it somewhere.
Okay. I might hit you up. So, are you excited? Are you gonna play? Do you have Windows 10 on your PC, Katie?
Oh no, I don't have Windows 10.
Okay.
No, I'm not really interested in Gears at all. It's just
wow. You said that so like you're just like, no, we're not interested in Gears.
Yeah, fuck Gears. I'm not a fucking.
He's playing fucking Persona Kojima, fucking
I'm sorry?
Kojima anime over there, whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying Japanese words.
Just all this weeb shit. Yeah, that's what I do. I've got my fucking wall scrolls of Metal Gear Rising.
As he's listening to fucking conversational Japanese in his headphones, he's mocking people to play Gears. Hey, fine. It's fine.
Taking lessons during the podcast.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I'll be interested to see whether or not it's a good PC port. You know, being the first Gears game on PC, launching on PC same day as well.
But yeah, I mean, I hope it's good on PC, considering it's like a play by Microsoft to try and care about the PC more and like show us they care about it.
That'd be cool. They'll be dropping the ball pretty hard if like we go in and the option there's like 3 graphics options.
Yeah.
like we've been known in the past.
Yeah, that would be kind of a shame for them to put Gears on PC and really make a push there and then have it be a bad port like that. That'd be a really bad look for Microsoft.
Yeah. I got hit with the harsh reality as I'm looking for new releases, and I search for Gears of War on Steam and nothing comes up, and I'm going like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, October 11th. Is the day that game comes out. So next up, Shadow Warrior 2, which is a sequel to the game I haven't played, but I know is would you say it's a cult classic?
Yeah, I would say Shadow Warrior falls in the cult classic.
Yeah, it's kind of underground.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I know people enjoyed this game. I know Dan played it back in the day and liked it a lot. It's like it's like kind of over the top. It's like real gory. It's just like kind of crazy. I feel like it kind of has it actually sort of has like almost the Doom or Gears of War vibe where like it's sort of over the top violence.
Yeah.
And like that's sort of the charm to it. So yeah, the screenshots look pretty neat. And yeah, I guess that Shadow Warrior game was several years ago, wasn't it?
It was
a lot of people really like that. I never ended up playing it, but yeah, I mean, over the top, I think is a bit of an understatement for what they're going for. If you actually watch the trailers, but yeah,
it looks like it's
just fucking insanity.
Looks pretty cool though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, look out for that, October 13th. Sorry, I'm dying.
Nice one.
Thank you.
You were just really polished, professional presentation this evening.
I couldn't.
The mute,
I felt that
the
coming.
Sneezing. It's great.
Yeah, of all the times I mute, I don't mute during a cough.
Yeah, that's right.
I felt that coming, and I decided to put more force into that cough than I ever have in my life. But no. Also on October 11th, Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour comes out on Steam, which is a re-release of the old school Duke Nukem. Is it? That's what I assume. Let me see.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, there's
what
an
it looks
all.
like.
Okay, apparently there's an all new episode created by the original episode designers.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm just reading this on the first time on Steam. Looks nice. So if you like Duke Nukem,
That's cool.
The-
I don't.
the classic
I don't know.
Fallen
Duke
That I,
Nukem.
Nukem
Hero.
if Duke Nukem hasn't been run into the ground as a fucking dead meme when they made the fucking what was the new Duke Nukem or what?
Oh, Duke
relatively?
Nukem Forever.
Oh my
goodness.
god, the fucking thing that
Oh.
was in development hell and then the fucking
Works
garbage.
at-
Oh, God.
Listen, work today. There's a child with his mom, and the child asks, "Do you have Duke Nukem Forever on the 360?" I wanted to stop that parent so badly.
man.
Like you're gonna let. I understand, parents letting their kids play Grand Theft Auto. That's bad, but you're gonna let them play this shit. I
not
have to
only
butt in.
not only is it inappropriate, it's also a bad game.
Just fucking garbage.
Yeah, it's a sin on both accounts. But no, if you the falling, what am I trying to say? He's fallen from grace. The legend, Duke Nukem, Big the Cat, same voice actor.
I mean, does
Let's get some?
does $20 feel expensive for Duke Nukem 3D? I guess if you really want to play old Duke Nukem, like I'm not sure how easy it is to just grab a working version of Duke Nukem somewhere. So like maybe the $20 is, you just download it on Steam and it just works on a modern PC. But $20 feels a little expensive for what I mean. It's basically just the game plus a new episode. I guess the new episode is cool, but that's I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like there are probably better ways you could spend $20 in this day and age. Like Duke Nukem is best enjoyed as like a in the time and place in history where it belongs, which is 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. This
I
is
agree.
definitely see the difference between because we were saying the similar thing, and I don't know if exactly it was the same sentiment, but it was similar with Doom, right? Before the Doom game came out and ended up being actually really good, by all accounts, the new Doom. We were like, are we really in an area where we need these franchises? And Duke Nukem, because they came out with Duke Nukem Forever, which was just fucking awful. It's like they don't really have that pedigree to be able to be like, because now with Doom, I'm like, yeah, I'm all for it. Like they really made a good product and they updated it for kind of, it was a mix of the old and new and it was really good. With Duke Nukem, I'm just kind of like my eyes just glazed. Like I don't give a fuck.
Doom is like the exception. It's that pleasant surprise where you have low expectations and it just blows it out of the water. Whereas Duke Nukem did not do that and has had like a storied history now of not doing that.
Right.
But I mean, I guess if you're gonna, here's what I'll say. You know what? If you're gonna pay any amount of money for a Duke Nukem game in 2016, this is probably the one to pay.
This is the one you probably should. Yeah, sure. That's a good point. That's a great point.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna spend money on Duke Nukem, if you've made up your mind, then I guess spend $20 on this one instead of any of the other properties you could spend.
Yeah, that's right.
That have Duke Nukem in the name.
Or just save your $20 for Extra Life this weekend and donate it. Somebody's paying for a hospital.
Or donate it responsibly, which is a much better use of your money.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you have to trigger me, Katie, with this last one? I literally Googled it to see what the fuck this is, and it's another this fucking franchise.
It's an honorable mention. There's finally a new release in the critically acclaimed indie title, Five Nights at Freddy's has come out with another game. Not five, but one called Sister Location. Which,
well, the full name is Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, which already triggers. That's a fucking terrible title. But anyway, again, it's all about putting these clues. Like he's really the Scott, whatever his name.
It's actually like I'm taking a look at the gameplay. It looks like a really, really big departure from well, I mean, I don't know about that big, but it's kind of a departure. It's like free roaming. I mean, I'm not a FNAF fan. I keep up with what the games look like when they come out.
What did you just say?
He just said
acronym.
FNAF.
Yep. FNAF.
Is something wrong with that?
In speech?
I do not have the mental focus to
He doesn't want to say
Five Nights at Freddy's. Something about the name.
You're already so close to this game that it's just going to be what FNAF.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe that Katie Zen is the closeted Five Nights at Freddy's fan. If he's dropping FNAF, dude, you can just admit it. Have you played all these releases? You can just say
I've watched them all.
Oh, okay.
On my favorite
I'm gonna
channel.
go look in your Steam library and if I see that you own these games, I'm gonna out you on the
We'll
next
see.
cast.
All right, fact
God
check
damn
it.
But hey, you know
Never
what? You
owned.
surprised the viewers because this one's already out. This isn't upcoming. They could go get this right now.
Yeah, you can hop on Steam, pick up this shit, play it. You could play it while you're listening to the cast. I doubt it's a very big download. Oh shit, I knocked over my phone. It was fucking Freddy, dude. But yeah, you know what? We've got some time left in the cast. Hop on Steam, download this excellent game, and yeah.
It already came out though, or people are? Oh, Markiplier has it early. I should.
Oh, yeah.
I'm literally just YouTube.
Oh no, it's out. It's out. It came out
okay.
on the
Oh, I
7th,
didn't
but it's a very big deal that this game came out. We had to talk about it on the cast because we've missed past couple weeks.
Plot twist:
But,
Markiplier has had this game for 3 years.
Oh,
Holy shit.
exactly. He's actually yeah. Good.
There it is. Yeah. Markiplier is Scott Cawthon, believe it or not.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that makes a lot of sense. Wow, it actually looks so fucking terrible. I'm literally watching the game. It's
Okay, so the person
he's just sitting in a fucking elevator and he's or the control room and it's moving.
Good. I hear
Shut
it's
up.
pretty good.
I don't.
Okay, my brother is the one. Now this isn't me bullshitting, but my brother is the one that keeps up with it and like plays them. And he was telling me like the words that left his mouth were it was a masterpiece. And I'm
Okay,
like,
well,
are you fucking kidding me?
What?
Like,
This is
now
someone
your
you're
brother's
blood
on
related
talkability
to?
with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
I thought he was full of shit, but you know, maybe
What?
too. I love just the what?
Man, I don't know
Is this
whether
the same brother that used to slap you on the ass and tell you have a good
Oh
ass?
my god! If I could just erase something from everyone's memory.
I
do
mean,
that.
so it is. That's confirmed. So again, you got to take what he says with a grain of salt. Or
Yeah, if that's what he's into.
I mean,
I don't-
again, different strokes for different folks. But I don't. I by any account, I don't. I mean, I'll agree. This looks like it may be the most effort of any of the games that has been put in because there's some movement
Oh,
in it,
yeah.
and
There's
you know,
so
that's-
much like speech. There's like so much voice acting to it. Also,
Okay.
it's but yeah.
I don't know. I'm getting again. I'm just starting to get a vibe from Katie that he's all right. We'll see.
Is this what Bob was talking about when he said he had some really fucking crazy shit for you to play?
God!
Was
If he makes me play Five Nights at Freddy's,
Oh my god, I would cry.
I will
dude.
actually fucking
Do you
kill
actually
him.
have a brother, or is this just like your way of kind
No,
of
I
getting
have a
out
brother.
your
No.
getting out like your gaming sins?
What do I slap my own ass or?
I mean,
I mean,
who
I
doesn't?
assume so. Yeah.
No,
I don't know
but,
whether I don't know whether I'm more concerned for your brother, who clearly like could use an improvement in tasting games.
I feel like you failed him as a brother because you actually play a lot of good games, Katie.
yeah, like
and
you're not sharing
allowing
you're
him
not
to get
sharing the
into-
joy that you can you
I've
you
let
could
him
help him
down.
find so much joy in games that he's clearly missing.
If he wants to be scared out of his mind, there's a lot of great horror games out there, man. Have you made him play Resident Evil? Have you? I don't know. I'm just saying. I feel like there's an
I
opportunity.
definitely try to make him play a lot.
Okay.
He disgusted me the other day. I'm walking through and he's like, David, I want you to come look at my Minecraft house. I'm like, are you fucking with me? Of all the times to get back into Minecraft, and it's the shittiest thing. No, it's not terrible. But just like, I'm like, what? No, I'm like, what year is this?
Oh,
Where it's like, all of it's made out of wood. There's no effort put into the architecture. I'm like, dude, if you want to show me your fucking Minecraft house, I want to see a fucking
there better be some
beautiful,
effort.
elegant castle. And then next day he's like, listen, dude, I went to the nether, I fell into the lava, and I
Oh,
rage
God.
quit, deleted my world.
Oh
And
my
so I'm like,
God, I
okay,
can't-
so that
I
house
can't
was for
believe
nothing?
I can't believe that this happened, and we had a quick hit in here that Scott removed
I remember.
about a
I was-
Minecraft castle that took 4 years, and we
Yeah,
were going to
4
talk
years.
about it, and this would have been literally the perfect
Check
segue.
it out.
It would have.
I-
Perfect
yeah.
segue. You could have shown your brother that and said, "Do not come to me ever again
Yeah,
unless you
until-
have something like this.
Something
Right.
like this.
Do not
Dude.
ever call your house a masterpiece. Look at what these other kids are doing."
It's very clear. It's very clear that your brother's throwing the word masterpiece around, and really, I don't know if he's fully grasped it yet. You know what I mean? I think he's a little young.
Yeah, he's throwing around. He's throwing around guarantees, masterpieces.
You need
He's
to give
actually
him
older
something
than
to
me.
aspire to.
I mean, but the truth is, I went on this rant before about the Five Nights at Freddy's shit, and I understand that the games have improved and that there actually is more effort in it than the original. But again, like we have to again, Brandon, where we talk about, we don't understand that there are people that are younger than 21 in our world, and they're again, the younger generation, dude, these people are growing up with Five Nights at Freddy's as their horror game experience. Like people are gonna grow up and be like, "Yo, what was the first horror game you ever played?" And they'd be like, "Dude, remember the original Five Nights at Freddy's?" I'm not kidding though. People are gonna talk about that in the same vein as
shit like
Resident
that.
Evil.
Yeah, walking through Walmart, seeing like Freddy, Foxy plushies. Yeah, like the toy section, seeing a Markiplier plushie.
I know.
No, not Markiplier. It was like Captain Sparkles. Like I saw like a plushie of him. I'm thinking like, my world is just fucked because like all these kids are on YouTube watching this.
How old is your brother? Is your brother older than you?
We're the same age. Yeah, we're 20. But
okay. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like maybe he's reacting to you're a little bit of a gaming. I wouldn't say you're an elitist, but you definitely dive super into the. Like you really he seems like he's reacting to how he's a little bit more surfacey.
I think he's rebelling against your way of life.
So.
And he's probably trying he's been trying to get attention from your parents because you're already the gamer, so he's got to go in the other direction.
Could be.
Damn, you're hitting the nail on the head here. We'll have to get him on the cast.
We really will. I really want to talk to him about
now you put him on blast. He's not going to come on the cast now.
You said that his Minecraft house was terrible. I mean,
it was! I let him know. Like, as he's walking around going through the rooms, he's like, yeah, this is where I put my library. I'm like, there are fucking 4 bookshelves here, bro. Do not show me this. There's nothing here. It's just rooms. There are houses you put effort into. You could tell he was just like, okay, I'm going to put a room here and connect it to this one, and then I guess I'll put the nether portal here. And then to do that, like, I guess, I mean, why would you show it to me if you're going to put no effort and then rage delete your world?
Damn. Dude.
Like, I can't grasp someone rage deleting their save file. Like, that video game thing is just beyond me.
So you need to show him this castle that took like 4 years.
Yeah.
And then say, come back in 4 years and we'll talk.
Get an army of people on a server to just start building. Here, go on Google Maps, look at the Taj Mahal, and just start going to work, But,
do you think this is a masterpiece? No. If you want to leave a legacy, here's what it needs to look like.
I want a 1-to-1 scale Star Trek fleet. But anyways, that's enough about my brother.
Wow. All right. Let's get into the viewer questions, and we've got a couple good ones. We have 2 email questions as well. So my goodness, look at this. Let's get into this first one. This first email question, which is a little bit shorter, but this is from Brian, and he says, if one species of animals all suddenly become zombies, what would be the most terrifying? Just a good question.
Think about whales, because once they become zombies,
that's good.
They're gonna start bleeding, and the amount of whales and how huge they are, and just maybe fish in general, like how there's a shitload of fish. Okay, like have you watched Evangelion? Those oceans. Like blood red, we're gonna see that shit. That's gonna build the atmosphere.
That's one thing I feel like isn't really done all that much as like the SeaWorld zombie kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure I know it's been done, but I'm saying even in the gaming world, like we need a zombie game in the ocean, like a bunch of pirates. Dude,
oh my god, it's like you're trying to get Moby Dick, but Moby Dick is actually a zombie.
It's an alternate reality or whatever. Where there's like, dude, stop talking. You need to.
Be sick.
Yeah, okay. Would you actually be that scared of a zombie whale sort of shambling around? Like he's going to be super slow.
No,
well, I'm assuming that he's a
whale.
I'm assuming he's aggressive too.
Myself and a lot of other people, like in like games or just like in real life, being in the water, just being like going underwater in games has always like terrified me. Mm-hmm. So like just being in that depth and being so vulnerable there, like that's terrifying to me.
Oh, I think it's clear. Like if whales. There were zombie whales, basically no one would go in the water anymore.
No,
like we would we would live a land only life.
Well, listen. Okay, hold on. Zombies don't need oxygen, right? Okay. Whales probably don't need water. Like they can live after dying.
I guess you're right. They're already dead.
Not what's stopping whales from going on the surface and attacking us in our homes.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
you
That's what
look
I'm saying, though, is
outside-
they'd be pretty slow.
Yeah.
But I guess if
They
you
would.
had a whale coming after you, like you'd have to evacuate.
Just sheer mass. Like if
Yeah.
I look out my window,
This is
I
untapped.
pretty
I'm
much
not
open up.
kidding. This is untapped shit right here, dude. I'm just imagining a fucking whale like ripping itself out of the water and just destroying its body as it tries to attack like people on land.
Played?
Dude,
Have you played Life is Strange?
Actually, you know what? You're kind of
That's
right.
true.
I guess it would depend if we're talking like a zombie that had kind of a bloodthirst, and he's just like flailing, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
He will just
Doesn't matter.
slowly disintegrait like as he
Yeah.
attempts to get to you.
That's what I'm
actually
thinking.
probably pretty scary.
That's fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like because they don't feel any. They're not gonna feel any pain.
You're right.
It's whatever.
you're right.
Oh man, we gotta get in contact with
Let's
somebody
do this.
that can make this thing, dude. Some fucking post-apocalyptic world where the fucking zombie shit though is all in the ocean, like, and then starts to creep onto land, dude. Fucking somebody in chat said it, but zombie, octopus, like all that shit. It would be nuts.
Oh man.
Imagine, think about that character design because an octopus and then adapting itself to be on land, right? Because it doesn't have to be in water anymore. Obviously, they can move on land anyway. But then just getting up on all its legs and chasing people and shit, like running.
Man. It's like
It's fucked
dragging
up.
itself around by like
Yeah.
grabbing onto things with its tentacles and like
Dude.
pulling itself. Oh my god,
Oh,
dude! I would
this
just
is
kill
a game.
myself.
This is a game or
I
a movie
see.
or something.
Let's do
That's
it.
a great answer. Anything in the ocean, I agree. I agree with. Ocean's already scary, so you add zombies to it.
I want to hear your guys' answers while I try to think of a sick title for this game about zombie sea creatures attacking.
Um,
I'm gonna go pedestrian and say cats, because because here's the thing. One, I'm trying to think. There are already a lot of cats just like where we live, right? A lot of people own cats, and so if all the animals, cause I'm thinking like whales. All right, that's maybe scary for the fact that they could come on land and they wouldn't care. But there aren't that many whales in the immediate vicinity I'm in right now. Whereas cats, if they all suddenly became zombies, one, I can't easily get rid of a cat, right? They're pretty nimble, and like if I throw one down the stairs, it still lands on its feet and it's gonna come back because it wants to kill me. So
right. Cats would be.
Yeah,
actually
cats can
terrible.
fall out of buildings. and,
Cats
like,
seems really horrifying.
Cats would be hard to get rid of. You'd be swarmed so fast. Cat's a good
Like,
answer.
could you kill a little cat though?
A zombie cat?
A zombie one? Yeah, sure.
APL, if you woke up one day and all
My
your
cat was a
cats-
zombie.
If Tab was a zombie. No, Cam. Shit, not Tab. That's your girlfriend.
I mean, I was just about to, be like, wait, how
Fuck.
did we,
Wow,
how did we
that's-
get here?
No, see
If
that
Cam was
scenario.
a zombie and she was coming after me, yes, I would.
That scenario is already implausible because Scott wouldn't wake up. He'd already be
That's-
dead, right?
Oh,
he's-
you're right. You're
with
right.
the number of cats in his house, he's already gone. In this scenario,
Oh.
Scott is already gone.
I've got
That's what I
4
mean.
zombie cats ripping me apart.
That's what I mean.
That's
is
gonna
like-
be that's terrifying too, because like little cats, they're gonna take a long time to like kill you and eat you.
by
like, being
default.
zombies.
That is like the worst scenario for Scott because
I
he
would
doesn't
be
even
fucked.
get a chance to run.
No, they're
You're
in
right.
the house.
You're right.
The zombie cats are coming from inside the house. God. That's a good answer, man. I'm with whales. I don't know what would be terrifying for me. Like I fucking hate. I don't know. Like snakes are already terrifying enough. I don't know what a zombie snake would look like. Would it be even that? I guess again, it would be incredible. I'm just assuming incredible speed, and like we'll have a thing when it rains a bunch here. At the apartment complex we live at, snakes will come out of the woodwork and just like chill on, probably harmless snakes, but pretty big ones, and they'll like chill on our deck and even outside of our door, and it's fucking terrible. Like I hate it.
Oh man.
So I'm imagining
That's not
like a
good.
snake, like a snake that I don't know that I get. I don't know,
Damn.
like anything chasing me. Like if I'm running and there's a snake catching up to me, that's pretty fucking terrifying. I mean, I'm not that fast, but I don't know how fast snakes can move decently fast. But I don't know, any snake add a zombie component. I don't know. That would fuck me up. Worms, yeah. Worms would be awful.
I've got a
Travis,
title for this.
Okay, what's the
for
game?
this video
What's the game?
game, like Dead Space,
Yes.
Dead Sea.
Yes.
Oh,
And dude,
I like that.
someone's gonna fucking steal this. I guarantee
Yeah,
you,
it's
this is gonna
over.
come out in a couple years.
Dead Sea.
Dead Sea is a good name. You've got the fucking Dead Sea that already
Please don't
exists anyway.
steal.
It can be. You better write this shit I should. I'm writing this
That's
shit down.
actually that is a great name.
Let's see.
Boom. Everyone's going to point back to this episode.
All right, hey, listen, when it does come out or whatever, we'll just, even though, because we're not going to act on it, and somebody takes it, we'll just be like, hey, remember when we came up with that game? Yeah.
If there's actually a game that comes out called Dead Sea, I am 100% going to link them to this episode.
They fucking stole it. I want the director, like, coming from someone, like, I have dreamed about making, like, Dead Space 4. Like, that's, like, if I could be... Oh, that's a good question. I'll save that for next week. I just thought of a great question we could answer. Like, or do we want to go for it now? I think it's a good question. If you could...
No, save it.
Okay, no, all right.
We have too many more to...
Anyways, good tease.
Save the goal.
Yeah, come back next week. Actually, not with next week, because I won't be in Pittsburgh. But the week after that.
I'll have to hold on to it.
Yeah, hold on to it. Cherish it.
I don't forget.
Your virginity. Just kidding. Okay. Low Kitty's like, I'll see. This is where you have to watch live to see it. All right. The next one, but good question from Brian. Thank you. Darren via email. The title of the email was called Pineapple, and this is what he starts it off very strong with. Dear fellow food experts, which we all are. While debating whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich, a friend considered putting a pineapple on one and whether or not this would enhance or diminish the experience. After much intelligent discussion, we concluded that pineapple could not diminish any food experience, therefore making it, potentially, the perfect food to include in any dish. Interesting. Some ground rules discovered through the conversation were that condiments did not count, ketchup, mayo, relish, etc., and that if a food was undesirable to begin with, meatloaf and casseroles and a variety of casseroles, etc., the pineapple had so little chance to begin with that it didn't even stand a fighting chance to excite the joy sensors in your mouth. Wow, they went deep on this. I like
wow.
Darren already. So we left without a clear answer and have been wandering the wastes in search of the truth. Please lead us towards the light that is food nirvana. Debro81 and friends.
Okay, wow. Darren, let me just, for 1 second. I want to, this is a well-written email, and it's one that I think clearly there's been some thought put into this discussion with you and your friends. But for someone who is going to say that meatloaf is undesirable to begin with, have you ever had meatloaf?
I don't agree
with
that.
Delicious.
I love meatloaf.
Meatloaf is meatloaf is one of the best dinners you can actually have. Like if you're going to someone's house and they say, I'm going to cook meatloaf, that is something you want. You think you don't when you're a kid because it's like not an appealing name, but meatloaf is delicious. Meatloaf and ketchup, 100%. So,
well, see, but they're also, maybe Darren and his friends have never actually had a good meatloaf, because you can dry the fuck out of meatloaf. Like I've had some terrible meatloafs from people at people's houses, to be honest.
But then
I don't know if you've never had terrible.
That's what I mean. If you've never had good meatloaf, I can't help but question your other food sensibilities.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I got you. I hear you. And also saying casserole is bad as a blanket statement. There's some great casseroles.
Yeah, literally, casserole is a category. Right. Like you're gonna condemn an entire category of food?
Yeah. Okay, I see where you're going with this. All right, no, you're right. You make some glaring errors, but again, I guess it's all a matter of opinion. But okay, but let's get back to the question at hand. Pineapple cannot diminish any food experience. That's a strong statement.
That is very strong.
I mean, I like pineapple. I like pineapple
a lot.
But I don't know if I like it on everything. I'm not sure.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, let me just throw out some stuff. Like, are you gonna put pineapple on a brownie? Is that gonna make your brownie better?
Not necessarily. I mean, it could, depending on maybe the type of brownie. Like pineapple on a burger. I mean, I know I've seen it done. I'm sure it can be done well, but generally, I'm not going to put pineapple on a burger. Fruit and meat usually for me aren't a huge mix, though they can be successful. Like marinades and stuff, that's a little bit different. But having a grilling pineapple is good. Pineapple on pizza, a lot of people think it's sacrilege. I'll eat pineapple on pizza. I don't have any problem with it.
Pineapple on pizza is fine. Some people don't like it, but pineapple can improve a pizza for people that like that. I'm trying to think. There are just some things that I think pineapple does not add to the experience. So, I mean, I think pineapple is one of the most versatile foods because it is good versatile. On a lot of stuff. But saying the perfect food to include in any dish, I think is maybe a step too far.
Yeah. I think you guys have again, and listen. I mean, to his credit, he's referring to us as the food expert, so it makes sense that he would stumble.
That's
a bit
true.
Here.
He's deferred. He's deferred to us for a decision like this. So I do appreciate that he's willing. He's willing to be. He's willing for us to give him guidance here.
Yeah, he's asking for an honest opinion, and I totally agree. Because that meatloaf and casserole thing is a total red flag, like you said.
Yeah. It's clear there's some inexperience at play.
I think he's onto something, but I don't think they're as on. I can't agree that there's no way pineapple can ruin a dish. It's definitely, it's not as I know he's talking about we're not comparing it to a condiment because it's not a condiment, but I think pineapples is a situation where it can work with a lot of foods, but it's not just a blanket like, yeah, if you add pineapple to this, it can't make it worse. I don't know that.
I think there's a whole category of savory type dishes that you would not want to put pineapple on because pineapple has a very strong kind of sweet tart flavor.
Sweet, it's acidic.
So basically, look at any dish that has an overwhelming savory flavor and ask, do I want to put something on the other side of the spectrum in this flavor profile? Probably not. Right.
Agreed. So I think we can. I don't know, Katie. I don't know what you're thinking. I say that we can say that pineapple is can be a very strong addition to a lot of things, but it is in no.
Yeah,
I don't think it's near as.
I have a cupcake in my hand right now. Now, do I think that this cupcake? What flavor is this cupcake? Pumpkin.
Oh.
Do I think this would be improved with pineapple?
Well,
no, I don't.
No, not a pumpkin. No, not pumpkin.
No, probably
definitely not. Thing with pineapple is just like I think it's delicious, but the taste is just so distinct and strong that it can ruin foods just as much as it can
there's a perfect
foods taste better.
So Zyke Booster B Rooster in chat just said pineapple Alfredo and I almost threw up in my mouth. So there's a perfect example of me thinking of fettuccine Alfredo and then that is not a
pineapple Alfredo.
That is
my god. Kill me.
Pineapple and soup? Exactly. See, look at stuff that's like really savory. You're not just going to throw pineapple in there.
No.
Pineapple potato soup.
Ugh.
Oh. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of even more. Like pineapple on a grilled cheese? Like pineapple
my god, no.
Pineapple in like tomato soup?
I could even go pineapple with grilled cheese because like you'll go to a food truck, like especially the trendy ones, and they'll use like a special kind of like sweeter bread maybe, right? Or a different kind of cheese. Like you could even pull that off, but you're right. Like the traditional, no, just a normal grilled cheese, a pineapple slice is not going to enhance it.
Okay, pineapple. Pineapple and ice cream.
I think we could have saying anything's the perfect food is always going to be tough, but I think in this case, pineapple has too strong a flavor to really work with everything.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's too bad pineapple.
So what are we ruling? What is the final ruling? Good, but definitely not what did he describe this as? Let's see.
Where was the question in this?
A perfect food to include in any dish. That's what he said.
Oh, okay.
I think he's just looking for confirmed deny on being the perfect food.
So we have to deny.
It's not.
Deny.
It's not. And you know what? Maybe try meatloaf sometime. Ask your mom to make a casserole. They're delicious.
Or if your mom can't make meatloaf consistently, find another mom that can make meatloaf for you. Or even make it yourself. It's not that hard. Just follow a recipe. Yeah. Just don't try it out. You'll be fine. Yeah, meatloaf is great.
Try it next time you're at a restaurant. Right, try their meatloaf. I bet you it's pretty good.
Yeah. All right,
guys. I think my life is over. I've been Googling if there's a video game called Dead Sea.
No.
And I found there's the Dead Sea 1 and 2. They're Xbox Live indie games.
No.
It's this, I'm looking at 2. And it's this like survival horror of this like woman in a bikini like walking around like a ship. And there are fucking sharks in cargo shorts. Cargo pants. Like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is better than anything I could have ever made. You're like sneaking up behind these like sharks. It's so shit. And they have like cargo jeans on.
What the fuck?
I'm at a loss.
That sounds like your type of game. I've got to be honest with you.
Yes. Look forward to the Dead Sea review on KBMOD.com.
I can't. You actually need to cut the audio from us talking about the Dead Sea game and then cut to, I don't know, make a complaint department about this, and then cut to you playing this piece of garbage.
Oh my god!
And just staring at the camera very somberly for like a minute.
Yeah,
that's the video.
Let's go.
All right. We've got another one more very lengthy email from Kyle titled Captain's Log. And he says, "Hello, cast. I have a bit of a predicament. On a slow Friday afternoon at work, I had to take my usual 2:15 p.m. trip to the washroom. I get in and realize my usual stall, second from the left, is taken."
Oh no.
That's definitely a frustrating time. Mildly annoyed, I entered the one beside it. I cannot smell any distinct aromas coming from my usual stall, so I determine that the individual has not begun his turd cutting. I have a long contemplation on whether or not I want to initiate the first action. I determine this cretin is a beta pooper and is waiting for me to make the first move. I love it, dude. The meta. It's real. Fine, I say in my head, sparing you the dirty details. I start my business. However, I notice something extremely alarming. He's snoring. No. This man has fallen asleep on the stall. No. I finish my business and exit the stall to go wash my hands. Of course, I take a quick mental snapshot of the brand and color of his shoes seen through the bottom of the stall. Oh. I have what I need to identify the perp. I get back to my desk and I message my coworker about the situation, as it seems rather humorous. He informs me that he heard the same thing the day before. I will not let this stand, especially if he wants to invade my personal stall. It is now 2 weeks later, and I have been closely investigating the shoes of each of my coworkers to no avail. My question is, if I find the offender, how do I confront them? Yours truly, Chris P. Bacon. Well done. Well done. Wow, that's a story, man.
Okay, this is a tragic event, and I was with you. You've been investigating people's shoes for 2 weeks trying to find the guy who's at your stall? Are you that passionate about?
I mean, no, but honestly, like having a place to poop, especially if you work in a corporate environment, your stall is super. I can relate to this. Your stall is super important.
Okay.
At least the company that I worked at before I worked at Machinima, worked there for a couple years, and it was I had the same thing. I had a stall that when I was gonna poop, that was my spot, and I would I would delay until somebody, like if I had to, I was like, well, I'm gonna hold it off until this guy gives me my stall.
Oh no. I mean,
I love that he describes the guy as a beta. A beta
pooper.
Beta pooper.
Well, see, he thought he was, but then he realized that he's actually not. Like, he wasn't conscious.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Oh my god. I'm thinking, like, the question: how do you confront them?
I mean, I don't.
What do you say?
I
think slept on my favorite.
It's all gonna depend on. Here's the thing: there's no way you benefit from this. Like, there's no upside to confrontation because one, if it is one of your coworkers, like someone you actually work with day to day, like it's a non-starter, right? You can't do it. There's too many potential negative repercussions. If it's someone that you don't work with often, or like someone that was visiting or whatever, then confronting them doesn't do you any good because they're not going to come back anyway.
No, exactly. What if it was somebody? I mean, he's saying. I'm thinking if it's 2 weeks and he has still not seen the same pair of shoes, that this is definitely somebody that didn't work in the office normally and was visiting.
That's what it sounds like. Especially because like just literally falling asleep in the bathroom. That's if like, are you gonna set an alarm or something? Like that's a risk. That's risky stuff.
Unless he's a narcoleptic, I can't ever say the word, but narcoleptic. Thank you. Yeah, which maybe, but
I think you would know if anyone you work with is narcoleptic.
Yeah,
because then it wouldn't surprise you to see this happen. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree. If you end up seeing the same shoes and it was somebody that you recognize, I don't know. I guess it really depends on how your Katie's saying how strong you feel about this, because it's just going to be awkwardness from here. I don't know any way. I don't even know how you start to bring it up. Like, this isn't even me, and I'm already cringing at how you bring this up. Like,
also, as time goes by,
back on September 20th,
would you fall asleep in my favorite poop stall?
Here's the thing. No,
the one.
We need to unwind the two issues here. One, you're upset that someone took your stall. Okay, and that's like That's a personal thing that you're going to have to deal with. 2, we have this sleeping situation. So if you're upset with the person because they fell asleep, that's one thing. But if you're upset with them because they stole your stall, you can't be upset with them about both things because they're two different issues.
That's right.
Yeah. I think this is one of those you have to you just have to let it go. And that's always those are hard in life, but sometimes
as time goes on and you like slowly the memory fades of what those shoes look like, it becomes more and more dangerous for you to decide that you remember exactly who it was. That's the worst thing that could happen is you get the perp wrong.
Unless it's somebody that you actually like, if it turns out to be somebody you have disdain for in the office and you don't really work with at all, I can see like walking up to him or something or behind him and just being like, I know your secret, and really fucking with, you know what I mean, and being and then you can just fuck with him. But either way,
but you still keep the leverage, right? You wouldn't wouldn't actually confront him about it or let anyone know. You would keep the leverage on him if you didn't like him.
100%.
Yeah,
that's really the best case, maybe.
Yeah, that's hard. That office bathroom meta, always changing.
Very crazy. Yeah. Wow.
Sorry about that, Chris. That
sucks. I mean, the good news is if it's somebody visiting like we think it is, then hopefully that won't happen as frequently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could just be a freak thing. I mean, it's never happened to me, but that actually sounds horrifying.
It actually does. All right. Well, now we're going to get into the reviews, and this is the part where we read your reviews on iTunes that you leave for this great 5-star podcast. The only rating that you're allowed to leave, especially if you want the review to be read, you go to iTunes. I know even if you don't have an account, you can make an account for 2 seconds. Listen, dude, every time you make an iTunes account, Steve Jobs gets another pair of wings in heaven. Okay, so at the very least, if you love Steve Jobs, do it for him.
Don't be so selfish.
Yeah, review our podcast. Give it 5 stars, and then in the content of the review, you can say whatever you want. You can ask us a question. You can tell us what you think of the podcast. You can be a member of the Hodes family, as we tend to find. A lot of people that are related. I think a lot of people go on Ancestry.com and then realize that they are related to the Hodes, and then find, maybe
our reviews are basically a meeting ground for long lost members of the Hodes family.
It is. It absolutely is. So we got 2 reviews this week, so keep the reviews coming. This first one is very short and sweet, but couldn't be more true. Simply the best PC gaming podcast. 5 stars. This is by Haramboy69.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I believe we were talking earlier about Harambe being played out. Both of these reviews have some sort of Harambe reference in them.
Haramboy69, and he said, this is my favorite, he spelled favorite with Favorit, no E at the end, podcast. Definitely deserves more listeners. Short, sweet, told us something we already know, but it's nice to hear people say aloud. You know what I mean? Or at least write down.
Yeah.
So
it's nice to get that confirmation that there's someone out there.
That positive reinforcement.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm glad that Haramboy enjoys our podcast.
I am too.
Thank you.
All right. The second one is entitled Honored. Again, 5 stars, of course. And this one is by Pumpkin Spice Harambe.
Oh my god. Why?
And it reads as follows. Hello, KBMOD. First, I would like to thank you for naming me Meme of the Year, which we did. We did name Harambe Meme of the Year 2 episodes ago. It brings me joy to know I didn't die for nothing. My friend Cecil the Lion Hodes brought it to my attention that a food item known as the ham dog exists. Knowing the culinary knowledge you have amongst yourselves, I have to ask, is a ham dog a sandwich? Jesus Christ. Thanks, and buy my mixtape.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. Oh Jesus.
I appreciate the review. I appreciate the review, although I hate everything about it.
My friend Cecil the Lion Hodes.
Jesus.
Oh boy. I think we answered this on the I'm pretty sure we addressed this when we talked about the ham dog, and we declared that it is indeed a sandwich, did we not?
Yes, the ham dog definitely has a different corpus than a normal hot dog does. So the ham dog is more of a burger in shape, like in kind of the the arrangement, and so I think we have declaratively said we consider the ham dog to be a sandwich.
There you go. Pumpkin spice Harambe.
Pumpkin spice Harambe.
Jesus. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. This one made me chuckle more than the first one because it added. I hadn't seen pumpkin spice and Harambe combined yet, so
I love the name. I love the name and everything after that.
It's a little rough, but all right. So
my mixtape.
There you go. Episode 252 is in the books. Again, guys, don't forget Extra Life this weekend, starting on Friday, which is the 14th. We're going the 14th through the 16th. 3 days, special guest, lots of gaming to be done, lots of money to be raised for Extra Life and the children's hospitals. Go to kbmod.com and click on the Extra Life link. You can go to see the schedule and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a great time. So we really hope you will join us. There will be a podcast next week, but it will be airing on Saturday around 9:30 p.m. On the schedule. It'll be a special edition, the live portion at least, from Extra Life with a bunch of guests. The audio version will come out as normal on Tuesday, so you can expect that. You can follow all of us on Twitter. Katie Zen is at KatieZen18. Brandon is at Volition, VOL1TION. I am at APL Fisher. Obviously, KBMOD.com for all your news, reviews, previews, Extra Life, multi-stream stuff. At KBMOD Gaming on Twitter. Follow us on there. And yeah, I think that's going to do it. So thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Yeah.